Raider! Oakland, LA, Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever! You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murph's Fan Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Bolitnikov, a leaping pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down. Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
What is up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murph back once again for what we hope to be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio, episode number 146 of Raiders Fan Radio, coming to you live, coming at you quick, man, like Max Crosby breaking through an offensive line.
Yeah,
Swaggo.
man. Max.
Hey, so welcome to the fan cave, the one and only Swag Jeff, the man that adorns the Western Annex of the Southern Annex, or the Western Annex of the Southern, or Southern of the Western, whatever it is. What's
He's
up,
here,
Swag?
man. He's here. It doesn't matter where he's at as far as the Murph's Fan Cave desk goes. He's here.
He's here, and you got first billing because Uncle Mosh is only his hat's here.
Yeah, he's MIA.
He's MIA.
There you go.
He's had a busy production week this week, and he's got some other commitments going on. So he's taking the week off. But young Swaggo has stepped in and will fill the co-host role for the night. So
I will do my best. I will do my best.
You always do a fantastic job, and appreciate you being here.
This is like 5 or 6 episodes in a row I've been a part of this.
Your wife is a saint. Let me just say that.
Yes, I love her so much.
Yeah,
she's the best.
She's the best.
She's the best.
She lets you come play radio once a week.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
I know.
It's a good time
great.
here.
I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
So we were off last week because of the Raiders bye week. You know, we were all riding high off the victory in London against Chicago. The Raiders had a bye. So we decided, this might be a good time to get a break, kind of get refreshed. And then we went to Green Bay. But anyways, let's talk about happier times. Swaggo, one of our favorite things about Raiders Fan Radio is that you can interact with us in a multitude of ways. You can call us anytime, 909-345-3346. Leave us a voicemail. If we play your voicemail on the show 3 times, we refer to you as what we call a made man or a made woman. You can send us an email, which we're going to get to emails later today or tonight. And you can email us at SHOW, at RaidersFanRadio.com, or you can join us live here on the YouTubes and be part of our amazing chat room. And you do that by going to youtube.com/Murph's Fan Cave and join into the community there. This is Raiders Fan Radio. We are all about the fans. We are all about Raider Nation, and we have one of the best communities and best chat rooms. And so Swaggo, shout them out. Who do we got in there tonight?
We got everyone in there. Mojo Raider, Coach Davis and Harley Raiderette. We got Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Renegade, Chris Potts, Raider Ramon, D the Sun. We've got the whole crew.
Man, that is awesome. Appreciate all of you joining us live. And again, if you want to join us live, check us out, youtube.com/Murph's Fan Cave. And do us a favor, too, while you're there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, smash the bell.
Smash the bell, as the kids say. That gets you a notification on your device and lets you know when we go live, which is, for the most part, every Wednesday night at like 7 o'clock. All right, so a couple of housekeeping notes here for those of you that pay attention to us on a regular basis. We are going to Oakland
we are.
a week.
Oh, my gosh. I am so excited.
So excited, man.
So stoked.
It's going to be great, man. So we're headed out for 2 reasons. One is, you see over Swag's left shoulder there, our check from you. This is not from RFR. This is from the RFR listeners and not Swag Jeff.
Yeah, definitely. I don't see Swag Jeff anywhere over here.
But
no,
hey, I'm with you guys over here.
there you go.
Where it counts.
That's right. So the RFR listeners, you all were so generous and so amazing in helping us in our fundraising effort to come up with $2,000 to donate to the Blitnikoff Foundation.
Yes.
I actually sent in the official check this week.
All right.
And then now there's our big fake check that represents the donation on your behalf. And we're going to present that on November 1st at the Blitnikoff Foundation's Crab Fest, or annual Crab Fest. That's on Friday. Then on Sunday, we're going to the game. We're going to go see the Raiders take on the Detroit Lions. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be amazing.
Swag's going to be there. I'll be there. Mosh will be there. Cousin Sonny, co-founder of the show. Our redheaded, literally step-cousin Ryan, who roots for the Broncos, but, don't bring that up.
Mojo said it's going to be litty like a titty.
Hey. Is that PG-13?
Yeah, we're all right. Yeah, be all right. Yeah, we're gonna have a ball, man. And speaking of Mojo, I think he's hooked us up with spots in Lot D. I think we're gonna tailgate and have a big time.
Well, he mentions it later on in his call. He's doing like street tacos, like San Diego street tacos. I know, man.
Yes, I'm all about that.
It's gonna be awesome.
I'm all about that.
Our made men are the best. We have the best listening crew, and they're more. Y'all are more than listeners. Y'all are active participants in this show and content creators yourself. And man, they're doing a tailgate.
Yes,
they're doing a tailgate. We're going to the game, and these guys, Big Raider Trucker, Q Dog Raider, Mojo. These guys they're all doing this. Are going to participate in this tailgate, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Cannot wait to meet you guys, and thank you not only to them but to everyone that contributed to this $2,000 check that we're about to give, because it's because of you that we get to go and do this kind of stuff and present this check on your behalf. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Cannot thank you enough. And that's one of the things that differentiates Raider Nation from the rest of the fan bases in the NFL. Like Chuck says on the Fan Club Blitz, no one does it like we do.
No
one else does.
Absolutely
no one else does fandom like Raider Nation. And so we're so thankful to all of you and all the support that you give us. All right. So here at Raiders Fan Radio, we always refer our episode number back to something significant within the Raiders' history. And so tonight is episode number 146 of Raiders Fan Radio. And Swago is our numbers guy, our resident numbers guy, and always does such a great job in letting us know something significant that happened. And so what do you got for 146, Jeff?
So 146. So I had a whole thing lined up. I did. I had a whole thing lined up with our boy Marv Hubbard.
Marv Hubbard, fullback from the late 60s,
fullback.
early 70s. Yeah.
Yes. So 1973, he had a killer year. He played in 14 games and had 6 touchdowns, which equals 146 right there. But tonight,
oh, that's good.
Yeah, no, it was good. But then we called an audible because we're gonna pay our respects to Willie Brown.
Yeah,
to Willie Brown, and so what I did was we tried to stretch it and twist it and all that because we wanted to make it Willie Brown's night.
It's going to be a Willie-centric evening tonight.
It really is. It really is. We're going to talk Raiders and we're going to talk about games for just a hot second, but tonight is about Willie. And so we twisted it and turned it and made it Willie's night. So episode 146, we're going to go with Willie Brown.
All right.
Willie Brown, and he just an amazing career. Old man Willie ripped. I mean, is he the OG 24?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's OG 24.
Someone may have wore it before him, but no one wore it before him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And he set the precedence of number 24 with. I mean, it's just one of the greatest of all time. And yes, absolutely. And Murph's got a 24 right there. And that was a donation from Swag, Jeff.
It sure was. Thank you.
It was.
Very timely. Thank you.
But he had 4 All-Pro seasons. He was in the Pro Bowl 9 times, but he had 4 All-Pro seasons. It's 1968, 1969, 1971, and 1973. And in those 4 seasons, he had in interception yards, he had 27, 111, 2, and -1. And he had 1 interception that went for 6 points.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you going 146 on me right there? 146?
Oh, 146. Oh, that's good. I didn't even think of that.
Okay,
but yes.
all right.
Okay, so if you add up the numbers 27.
No, it doesn't.
111.
No way.
2. Subtract 1 for -1.
Oh.
And then 1 interception. So add 1 and then add 6 points. You get 146. So there you go. There you go. 146.
Awesome.
This one's to you, Willie.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Good job, Swaggo.
Thank you. Thank you.
You put some work in on that one.
Oh
dude.
my gosh, I was crunching numbers. I got my calculator out. I was doing long division. I was doing all kinds of stuff, man, but we got it.
That's fantastic. Well, absolutely. We're going to, and as Swaggo said, we're going to honor Willie all night tonight. Just a little disclaimer here at the top of the show. We're going to talk about the Green Bay game a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to hit it. We're going to get on to Houston as well. But look, there's a lot of Raiders fan-created content out there. There's a lot of podcasts.
Yes.
There's a lot of YouTube shows. It's very diverse in opinions and all that kind of stuff. So there's lots and lots of content out there. One of the things that we do here in Raiders Fan Radio that I like to think that we do well is that we honor the past and we honor the mystique of the Raiders.
Yes.
And when we lose someone of the significance of Willie Brown, I think it's very appropriate for us to camp out on that for a minute.
Yeah, we gotta pause and take a look at that because
we got to spend some time talking about Willie. So, if you're looking for tonight, and I think those of you that watch us or listen to us regularly, you kind of have an idea where I'm going with this already. But if you're looking for heated debates about whether Derek Carr should have two hands on the football or whether he should be diving for the pylon to begin with or whatever, this may not be the place for you. And I'm not discouraging anybody from listening to us, and we value every single one of you. But just know this, that we're not pretend to be analysts. That's not what we're about. We're fans. You're fans. We want to talk about our fandom. We want to celebrate the Raiders. And this is not ignoring something like, look, it was a rough game in Green Bay, but if you expected us to win in Green Bay against arguably the greatest passer of all time, then you may want to rethink that one to begin with. But,
sure.
But anyways, point being, though, is that we're going to talk about the greatness of the Raiders. We're going to talk about the greatness of Willie Brown. We're going to talk about the greatest characters that have ever populated and worn the silver and black. We're going to celebrate our listeners in the Sea of Fans mailbag, and that's where our focus is going to be tonight. So just know that. So that said, we're going to give a lot of respect. Respect segment at the top of the show. Sadly is in memoriam a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's Cliff Branch we've lost lately. I mean, we've lost some very significant Raiders lately. But Willie is, understated, frankly, in his significance and what he represented as a Raider. So we're going to do a big, long Willie Brown segment.
Absolutely.
That's just coming. So set that aside for respect. But there is one other area of respect that I do want to shout out.
Yes,
Jeff or Gib.
absolutely.
Hey, man, we got over 5,000 likes on our Raiders Fan Radio Facebook page.
Yeah, we do.
And that was really cool.
Absolutely.
We like to celebrate those milestones.
Absolutely.
And I saw that. And Swaggo, you've done a fantastic job with our social media.
Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Well, yeah.
And thanks to you guys. Thanks to you guys at home that are watching and listening and all that stuff and helps, you and I could just sit and talk about this, just the two of us, and we'd be happy and content. But for you guys to pay attention to us and to see what we do and all that stuff, thank you. We love you guys. This is a show by you and for you. You guys here in the chat, you guys make it what it is. You guys send amazing stuff on social medias with pictures and your opinions on things and stuff that it's, you help us make this show.
Absolutely.
And so this show is for you, and we love you and thank you.
Thank you very much, man.
Absolutely.
It's cool stuff, man. Seeing those milestones, whether it's in ratings or, again, here in social media, man, that's pretty significant. So we appreciate each and every single one of you. All right, Swaggo, hit that contact info and let's talk about old man Willie.
All right, boys and girls, pay attention. You got your old Uncle Mosh here with an update. That's right. I got some stuff for you. Take out a piece of paper, a pencil, a pen. Heck, use your pocket knife and carve the info into your dashboard as you're driving down the highway. First off, you need to like us on our fan page on Facebook. That's right. Go to Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. Don't forget about the Twitter. You know your old Uncle Mosh, he twits now. That's right. Go to at Raiders Fan Radio. Also, don't forget the Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about our website? That's right, RaidersFanRadio.com. Heck, if you want to, you can even email us show@RaidersFanRadio.com or call us on the Raiders Fan Radio hotline, 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. Don't forget, Merv's Fan Cave on the YouTube, where you can get all the show links like the Fan Club Blitz with Splatterhead and Fitz. Find all our stuff on podcast providers like Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play. All right, did I hit the time limit? Good.
So, Murph, before we get into Willie Brown,
Yeah.
I
I guess we should talk about.
guess we should talk about the game in Green Bay.
All right.
The game in Green Bay. Tell me your thought. What did you take away from that game?
All right. Well, the big takeaway was that we got punked by arguably the greatest passer of this generation. I mean, I've not hidden my respect for Aaron Rodgers. We're from a similar part of the world. In fact, we went to the same community college. How about that?
Did you really?
Yeah, Butte Community College. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
He's from Chico, California, which is where Chico State is. Which is. So anyways, so I've always had had an awareness of him as a college player, and then as he's been in the NFL. And I'm a fan of football. I'm a fan of the quarterback position, and I'm a fan of the way that he plays it. I just don't think that there's a lot out there that do it better than he does. And if you have any weaknesses, that's the guy that will rip your throat out. Like, he's the guy that will absolutely crush you. And so when you got guys like what's our Jake Kumaro, when
Rodgers made him look like an all-star.
Yeah. So and our defense made them both look like all pros. And so when that happens, I'm not shocked by it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect us to win that game. I think it was unfortunate the way that the game turned. And look, and I'm gonna give this put partially on Derek. I'm not gonna apologize for him for what he did trying to dive into the end zone. I'll never get on a guy or be critical of a guy that's making a hustle play. I think that in fairness to, if you're making a hustle play, you're trying to create something. You're giving up your body. I don't have any hate towards that. The ones where he floats them in the end zone and those turnovers in the end zone, those are a little harder to swallow. And those I think we could fairly be critical of, because there you're not making an aggressive mistake. There you're hoping that your guy goes and makes an amazing play. Floating a ball into double and or triple coverage and expecting your guy to make a play, I think, is a little bit misguided. I don't have any apologies for Derek on, but it was unfortunate that those plays weren't the ones the game turned around on. It turned around on the fumble through the end zone. It's a stupid rule. That's a whole nother thing to get into as well. But that was my big takeaway, is that going in, I didn't expect him to win. I don't expect him to win in Houston either. But then when we play the Lions, the Titans, the Chargers, there's like 4 or 5 extremely winnable games on the schedule coming up on the very near future. If we don't win those games, then I'll be like really worked up about all that. But as of right now, look, we lost to Aaron freaking Rodgers. The guy's going straight from Green Bay to Canton. Like, come on, man.
Absolutely.
Like, he just freaking stole our DB souls. And that's what Aaron Rodgers does. And if you don't have an exceptional defense to counter him, then this is where you end up. So anyways, that's kind of my general overall in the game. How about you?
So a few takeaways. So one thing that you did, you texted. We have a little group text between all of us, or some of the made men here, and you texted a list of all the quarterbacks. So since Derek Carr, you texted a list of over the last 4 or 5 years, quarterbacks that have been drafted, and said, "Who you taking?" And I mean, Derek Carr's still.
Since 2014, the top quarterbacks taken in the draft, there are 2 names on there. Was there 3? It was Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, and there might have been one more that I was like.
Yeah, maybe one more. And
I was like, okay, like those guys are what. But other than that,
I mean, Derek Carr's the guy.
Who do you want, Raider Nation? Look, do we have a playoff caliber quarterback? The answer to that question is yes. Do you have a playoff caliber defense? The resounding answer to that question is no. So focus your criticism in the right spot. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Derek's perfect. He had some rough plays. I'm not going to apologize for him.
Absolutely.
But when you're playing an elite team like what Green Bay is, arguably the best team in football. Okay, well, or at least in their conference. So is Minnesota. So is Kansas City. Like, look at our 3 losses.
Yes.
You're talking about the losses to Super Bowl contenders. So let's keep it perspective.
Absolutely. And I've seen a lot of people, just like the last big loss that we had, Tua 2020, all that stuff. Talking about that. Come on, man. And, but really, how much of this do you put on Carr? Yes, it was a huge momentum swing. We were about to go in and, take the lead or it was right there.
We would have taken the lead. We would have taken the 17-14
yes,
lead.
we would have taken the lead right before the half ended, all that stuff. And, and so, yes, you can point at Derek Carr and said, yes, that was a bad mistake. You kind of were the cause of the switch of the momentum, but our defense just got torched. We got tore up. Aaron Rodgers almost 450 yards passing, 5 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. The guy had a perfect passer rating. It was unbelievable. The guy was playing on fire. But if you want to take a positive, I'm always looking for positive.
Yeah.
And my positive with this was, hey, man, we can still move the ball. Honestly, the game felt a lot closer than what the final score showed.
Yes, absolutely.
But we were moving the ball with ease. If you look at it, we drove the ball down several times and got close, and then a stupid mistake caused our drive to end. But we were moving the ball, and so I don't know since the Clay Matthew days. I'm not an avid Packers follower, but they were pretty elite defense at one time. I don't know what they are now, but we were
back in the day when they went to the Super Bowl and won and all that. Like,
sure,
they had a pretty legit defense.
Their defense is still fair.
It was Charles Woodson for crying out loud. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But but even nowadays, their defense isn't. They're not slouches. They're not.
No, they're pretty darn good.
They have a 6-1 record or whatever. For crying out loud, they're pretty good. So for Josh Jacobs to run down their throat and to Carr to pick them off, or to pick them apart really up until the red zone, and then you had a guy like Darren Waller who had a pair of scores, and he
fell down on that play.
Yeah,
sure,
whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Right.
We're done.
We talked a lot about the game for a couple guys said we weren't going to talk about the game.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we could go on and on and on about this, but you know what? We're gonna Belichick it.
We're on to Houston.
We're on to Houston.
Yeah.
We're on to Houston. Yeah. You go in with a similar game plan with a little bit stouter defense. We got a shot.
I've been saying if we win one of these 2 games, we're the talk of the league.
Dude, I'm telling you what. If we come back home 4-4
at the Lions, dude, we're gonna be there. Oh my gosh.
We could be there for the start of a huge epic run.
4-3. If we beat Houston, we'll be 4-3. We're 3-3 right now.
Okay, yeah, we're 3-3 right now.
Yeah.
So if we go in with a winning record going back home,
oh my gosh.
Dude, we're like riding high. We don't want to get. I like. We've talked about it before. We have no expectation for the Raiders, so we can't be disappointed.
8-8.
Yeah,
that's the expectation.
Yeah. So you know what? But hey. I'm sniffing a 10-6.
Hey, listen, we got a favorable schedule coming up after the Houston game.
We do, yeah. We have my former fandom, the Tennessee Titans, who are very beatable.
Yes.
And then we got the Chargers, who are
way beatable,
garbage.
Yeah.
And so we've got some games that are. We should just
absolutely
smoke some of these fools.
All right.
So anyway, let's talk about number 24.
Let's talk about Willie. All right. So for those of you, I'm sure everybody knows this listening to this show, but for those of you that missed it, Willie Brown sadly passed away. What was it, yesterday?
Yes.
Yesterday being the 22nd of October. Willie Brown, autographed picture of him right over here over my right shoulder there.
That's worth some money today.
Yeah, well, sadly. Willie was one of the greatest, man. And so Willie, the Raiders, and we're going to talk a lot about the Raiders and the greatest characters of the Raiders and the greatest characters in the NFL. Willie wasn't necessarily like a great character, but here's what he was. He was very charismatic and probably like one of the best men that ever wore the silver and black. Like, this was a good man. This was a good man in terms of just in family and in just the way he lived his life and the way he mentored people and the way he just, I cannot brag enough about him. But instead of listening to me brag about Willie Brown, let's go to Al and let's listen to Al Davis induct Willie Brown. Now, Willie Brown was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1984. He retired in 78. So the first year he was eligible for the Hall of Fame, he went in. Willie Brown was by position, arguably the best player the Raiders have ever had. Okay. When you just look at elite athletic ability, just everything, understanding of the game and execution and greatness and big plays and all that stuff, it's really a short list. You could put maybe Marcus Allen on there. You could put, gosh, I don't know. You can't even put Kenny on there. Like, I'm talking about like just straight up like amazing, like Howie Long, like excellence at their position. Like, I think it might be Willie Brown. So anyway, so he went into the Hall of Fame immediately as soon as he could. And of course, Al Davis is the one that inducts him. So let's listen to Al tell us about why.
I have shared great moments in Willie Brown's life, and my family, my friends, have a strong love and adulation for Willie and his family. Willie Brown came to the Pro Football Denver Broncos in 1963 from Grambling University, where his coach was the renowned and great Eddie Robinson. Willie was not only a great football player, he was senior class president. His playing career in the American Football League and the National Football League spanned 16 seasons as a starting cornerback. 12 of those magnificent playing years were with the Raiders, 1967 to 1978. During those years, the Raiders had the best record, not only in pro football, but also in all the sports. 10 of those years, Willie Brown was All-Pro. He was named the All-Pro cornerback in the American Football League's history. He played in each of the American Football League's All-Star games and in the first 4 AFC, NFC Pro Bowl games. He is the only player in pro football history who has intercepted at least one pass in each of 16 consecutive seasons. He has been in 4 Super Bowls, 2 as a player, 2 as a coach. He had 54 career interceptions. He was born with great physical talent. It was up to Willie to put it to use, and did he ever put it to use? I can remember, as if it were only yesterday, the first time I saw him play in 1963, and from then on, he created a style of play for cornerbacks that has been synonymous with excitement, daring, and attack. It is called bump and run, pressure defense. Willie Brown has a special place in the hearts of the Raider organization, and especially the teammates who wore the famed silver and black. He wore those colors with pride, he wore them with poise, and he wore them with class. He was a star among stars.
Yeah, so to kind of follow what Al said right there, I mean, he really is the true resemblance of a true Raider. Yeah. So this guy coached several. I mean, how many players did he coach?
He's a defensive backs coach through like 88, I think, right after he retired.
Charles Woodson got a lot from him and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
This guy really epitomized what it meant to be a Raider.
Absolutely.
And it's Raider for life. And this guy stuck around forever to teach these young kids what it meant to be a Raider and what it meant to be a cornerback for the Oakland Raiders.
Absolutely. And, that's one of the things I think that gets missed a lot about Willie is that he was the ambassador for the Raiders. He represented the Raiders and I don't want to take thunder away from our callers because a lot of our callers tonight referenced the history of Willie Brown. But basically, he was the guy that, if someone had passed away, he would represent the team at the ceremonies. He would represent the Raiders. Listen, outside of Al Davis and maybe Mark Davis, this was the guy that epitomized the Raiders. He represented the Raiders in all 3 Super Bowl victories in one form or fashion. He, freaking put the icing on the cake for number 11 for the first one in Super Bowl 11. So anyways, it's just, there was none better to do it than Willie Brown. And so many people have spoke reverently about him. Charles Woodson, if you haven't seen it, has an amazing Instagram post where he's got about a 4 or 5 minute speech. I don't have that audio for you tonight because it's a little quiet. It's kind of tough to hear.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't come across on the show very well, but I encourage you, go out there and find it and listen to the way Charles Woodson speaks reverently about Willie Brown. So we're going to get on to some of Willie's achievements, but before we do that, let's listen to the man himself. Let's listen to Willie Brown at his Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Well, I guess it would have helped if I'd have brought it up here first.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
Willie Brown traveled his road to Canton 79 years ago from an unlikely place, Yazoo City, Mississippi. He played at Grambling State University.
This
What is
is
this?
the Hall of Fame video about Willie. We'll let it roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Eddie Robinson as an outstanding quarterback, yet was not drafted by one professional team, neither in the AFL or NFL. He signed with the Houston Oilers, was cut, but was then picked up by the Denver Broncos, where he established himself as a starter in his second season. But it was a trade via this telegram to the Oakland Raiders, where he spent the remainder of his playing and post-career days as a coach and still an administrator. 3 times a Super Bowl champion, his most memorable moment was a Super Bowl record 75-yard touchdown pass interception return off Fran Tarkenton, still one of the most recognizable video captures by NFL films of Brown running with the ball straight at the camera. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1984, the career leader in interception for his Raiders. For Willie Brown, that moment in front of the Hall was like Martin Luther King in front of the Lincoln Memorial.
I have always believed that if you can dream it, you can do it. The thrill of being a world champion through a Super Bowl victory is something every NFL player dreams about. But being voted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame is one of the greatest experiences that you can ever receive in any career.
He was also inducted into the Black College Football Hall of Fame in 2012 and was proud when the Pro Football Hall of Fame reached out to give the Black College Football Hall of Fame its permanent home in Canton, with the formal exhibit unveiling last September. As hard a tackler as he was, there was a soft side to Willie, as seen when he represented the Raiders at the NFL Draft.
Listen up. Mother's Day is in 3 weeks, guys. 3 weeks, Mother's Day. Not this Sunday, not the following Sunday, but the next Sunday is Mother's Day. All right, you guys, remember that.
He joins his Raider teammates, still part of the 326 greatest to have ever played the game on the ultimate team that lives forever.
All right, the ultimate team that lives forever is the Pro
Yes.
Football Hall of Fame. Such good stuff. So Jeff, he still leads the Oakland Raiders. He's tied for the all-time interception.
Yeah, with Lester
record.
Hayes, right?
Yeah, Lester. Good job, Swaggo.
What do you think about that?
You've been doing some homework, huh?
Oh, dude, yeah.
Nice job. Yeah, so it's 39.
Yes.
So 39 interceptions, and that's only his Raiders
That's
career.
only his Raiders career. He had in 4 years with the Donkeys. He had 15 interceptions in 4 years.
That's
I mean,
unbelievable.
That's bonkers, man.
Unbelievable.
He 54 career interceptions.
So he'd be a slam dunk runaway as all-time number one if you
Oh my
include
gosh.
his career numbers.
His sophomore season, I think his sophomore season with the Broncos, he had like 9 interceptions.
Oh my gosh, that's
Good
bananas.
grief.
Yeah, so good, so good. So, the most famous of his interceptions, of course, as I mentioned, was the icing on the cake in Super Bowl 11.
Yeah, it was.
It's when he picks off Fran Tarkenton and takes it to the house. It's the most famous, or at least in our world, the most famous NFL film shot. It's the camera zooms in. He's running straight at the camera.
Yes.
It's just an amazing shot. In fact, we talked about it on one of our episodes from Tales from the Nation.
We did.
And so you got this amazing shot. You got this amazing player, and then you have this amazing announcer in Bill King, and he's calling it, and this is the famous Old Man Willie.
Quick lineup now, and he looks and throws. Intercepted by the Oakland Raiders. Willie Brown at the 30, 40, 50. He's going all the way. Old Man Willie. Touchdown Raiders.
So good. That gives
That's
me chills,
amazing, man.
So
I love
good.
that.
So good, man. And so you got a culmination of 3, points of greatness coming together there. All right, so of recent history, so we talk about Willie. He was an amazing player. He went on to this incredible coaching career. He was an ambassador for the Raiders. And then he got into the draft pick business, Jeff. And this is so fun. So as of 2014, he started announcing the Raiders' second-round pick. So the commissioner always does the first round, and then they would have somebody of significance to the organization do round 2. So they started having Willie come out to represent the Raiders because he's the ambassador of the team to announce the second-round pick. And what do you know? He became famous for wishing all of the moms happy Mother's Day. Now, 2014 may not have been the first year that Willie announced the pick for the Raiders, but it was the first year that I could find, and I did this research actually a couple of years ago on another segment we did, but I believe 2014 was the first time that he made reference to all the moms on Mother's Day. And this gives you an insight into the person of Willie Brown, about he was so much more, again, than just, even though he was the greatest player, he was so much more than just a great player. So let's go back, 2014, and here's Willie Brown announcing the Raiders pick.
To announce the Oakland Raiders selection, please welcome from Grambling State University, an undrafted free agent in 1963, Hall of Fame cornerback, Willie Brown.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me, before I announce the pick, let me just say congratulations and to all the moms, happy Mother's Day to all of you moms throughout the world.
So good. Love it.
My mom, she's 99 years old, so hopefully she can make it to October. She'll be 100 years old. So all you mom, thanks. With the 36th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the mighty Oakland Raiders select. Yeah, I know you love us. Derek Carr, quarterback, Fresno State.
How about that?
There you go.
As expected, the Raiders have selected Derek Carr from.
There we go.
What an honor.
I know, dude.
Holy cow.
Isn't that
I didn't
cool?
know. I didn't know the first announced pick that he had was freaking
Well,
Derek
at
Carr.
the first one, at least, best I could tell.
Well, the first Mother's Day
pick,
first Mother's Day pick.
Derek Carr. Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty good, huh?
That's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
I love that.
That's pretty cool. So, so we went to this draft this last year in 2019. So Willie did this, and I have all these. We're not going to play them in the interest of time. But so he did it again in 2015, 2016, 17, and 18. But then last year, we were at the draft, 2019 draft.
Yeah.
I took my boys specifically, or one of the specific reasons, a lot of reasons I took them to the draft, for crying out loud.
Well,
But
yeah.
I prepped them.
Look at the fan cave. There's a million reasons right here why you would take your boys to the draft.
Right?
Good grief.
Right? Okay, fair enough. But one of the things I prepped them for was that Willie Brown announces the second round pick, and that he wishes all the moms happy Mother's Day, and I kind of told them the whole story. Well, then there we are, and there's no Willie.
Yeah.
There's no Willie. And
yeah, I think that was kind of the first sign that, maybe something was going on,
Something was going on. But look, it was an awful nice consolation prize to be able to witness, right there in the as close as we could get, the second most famous 24 for the Oakland Raiders, and that is Charles Woodson, come out and make the pick on behalf of the Raiders, and while doing so, celebrate the legendary Willie Brown. So we're going to close out our Willie Brown segment as this. So Swaggo, hit our audio after we hear Chuck.
Yeah.
But this is just, man, we've lost a lot of great ones, man, and sadly these guys of the 70s and 60s are getting up there a little bit, and look, we all got a date, man, and so we all got a time to go and spend with the Lord, but it's just sad, man. It's just, this is one of those ones, man, that kind of got me. You know what I mean? Like maybe more so than I expected it was gonna.
Absolutely.
When it kind of creeps up on you, and so sadly, so we just pay all the respects to Willie Brown, all the condolences to his family, and we just want to give major respect to his legendary career. He will not be any time forgotten, and as long as we're doing a podcast, we will focus and celebrate on the Raiders' legendary players, and Willie Brown is on the Mount Rushmore, frankly. So we'll go ahead and play this one last one from Chuck, and then we'll get on to the next segment.
Please welcome from the University of Michigan, 1997 Heisman Trophy winner,
Go Blue,
9-time Pro Bowler, and Super Bowl 45 champion, Charles Woodson.
Raiders! All right, now hold on. First order of business. In keeping with tradition, you know this is the way Willie Brown would want it.
Nice.
You guys, Mother's Day is coming up. Don't forget about your moms on Mother's Day. Call her, take her out to dinner, buy her something. Don't forget about moms. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, those that are here, and those that we have lost. Willie Brown, we love you, baby! Now let's get down to town business right quick.
Full ascot, Charles Woodson.
With the 40th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Trayvon Mullen, DB Clemson.
You're on deck, Trayvon.
Yeah, you are. Next man up, bruh. Next man up, bruh.
That's it.
Hey, before I hit the next tag.
All right.
So I got a guy.
You got a guy?
I got a guy, man.
Oh.
So
wait a minute.
I got a guy.
You got a guy. You got a for real guy, right?
I got a for real guy, and his name is Max Crosby.
Max.
Well, yeah.
Well, pay attention to this one, chat room.
Yeah. Hey, like this tagline.
Hey, Raider Nation, this is Max Crosby from the Oakland Raiders.
And goes down, and Max Crosby, who forced a fumble last week.
You're listening to Murph, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Thank you so much. Just win, baby.
You got a guy, Swaggo.
What do you think about that?
I think that's pretty cool.
Swaggo's coming through for Raiders Fan Radio. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you did. Hey, and we're not going to interview him.
No, we're not going to interview him.
Because we like him.
He just sent us a soundbite, brother.
Yeah, we ain't
gonna interview him because we like Max Crosby and we don't want him to get cut.
That's right. Yeah,
because he's had sack, I believe, 3 games in a row.
Absolutely.
Sure he put Aaron Rodgers on his behind.
I sure did.
Yeah,
man.
So yeah, we're all about that. Max Crosby, thanks for the shout out. We love you, brother.
Yeah, man, appreciate that, Max. Absolutely, and good job, Swaggo, on that. And yeah, so if you keep up, we're 5 for 5 on getting Raiders cut as far as
that's why we're not going to speak to him directly.
No, we're not going to interview him. All right. So speaking of characters, which Max Crosby is like one of the modern day characters of the Raiders.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Please, no, shout him out. Go for it.
Oh yeah, we got Mojo, we got Raider Ramon, Ron the Mater Raider, Wyoming Raider, Roach, Aaron the Q Dog Raider, Big Easy, Todd Clements, Watts Raider, and Aaron the Q Dog Raider says, "Hey Swaggy J, why don't you interview Arden Key?"
Deal.
Okay.
Yeah, deal. The way he's
That'll
playing.
work.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, Aaron went all Custradamus on that one.
Oh my gosh.
He's been saying forever that Max Crosby was going to outshine Arden Key, and I'm like, no way.
Dude.
Yeah, he has.
This guy's a true Raider.
He's legit.
I mean, watching this guy in Hard Knocks and all that stuff, and dude, the guy's a stud, man.
He's
I love
legit.
the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love the guy.
Yeah, easy to root for. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, so speaking of Raider characters, the NFL has been releasing their 100 greatest lists of stuff, and we've talked a little bit about it.
Yes.
Raiders' greatest plays. One of my favorite things, I'll speak for myself. My favorite things about the Raiders is the characters of the Raiders. I've mentioned before on the show that the Raiders of the 70s, I'm of an age that I was a kid in the 70s, or young kid, young kid, but I was a kid in the 70s. I was a kid in the 80s too, just for a minute. But so I try not to show my age, but
you're old, bud.
Thanks. Come on.
You're old, man.
I'm sending you softball after softball.
Sorry about that. I was looking at the chat.
I'm like waiting for you to yoke one out of the park over there.
You old son of a gun.
All right, thanks. So anyway, but the Raiders of the 70s were like superheroes to me, man. Whether it was all these guys behind me.
Before I was born.
Heck yeah, it was. So,
oh my gosh.
Freddie B, Willie Brown, Assassin, Snake, Mad Stork, Villapiano, the Foo. I mean, you name it, man. All of them. They're literally like superheroes. And so, the NFL released this list of the 100 greatest characters, and don't you know there are 10 Raiders on this list, as there should be, because we have so many great characters, and 2 of the top 3.
Yeah, 10 in the top 50.
10 in the top 50.
10 in the top 50 are Raiders.
And 2 of the top 3. So it's a great list to go through. So we'll work through it quickly because it's pretty long, but we're going to start off with Big Ben Davidson.
Oh, yeah.
Big Ben, we call him Tip-Top. He was a physical specimen.
He went a little bit beyond the normal playing style. He was intent on intimidating certainly me and every other quarterback. He did some unsportsmanlike things to this quarterback anyway.
That's just the way I was taught to play football. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I love Ben Davidson, not only because he sounds like Wyoming Raider, who is a caller to this show.
Well, yeah.
But the rule, Jeff, in the NFL, that you're not allowed to hit a player after the whistle, that's the Ben Davidson rule.
Well, yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, so the first Tales from the Nation that we did, we talked about the Heidi game, and I mean, Ben Davidson was all over the Jets.
Absolutely.
He was all over Namath. He was all over the backup, whoever the heck that was. But I mean, that was the play that closed out the game of the Heidi game. Is he threw the backup to Namath. Threw him to the turf, man. Yeah, killed him. So yeah,
absolutely.
We love Ben Davidson.
Ben Davidson. He went on to. He was in like Conan the Barbarian and a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and he was in like Miller Lite commercials or something.
Oh,
like that.
he sure was. Yeah, Ben Davidson was great, man. Ben Davidson. So, anyways, want to celebrate him. All right, next up we got number 48, and that is the aforementioned Mad Stork. Old kick him in the head, Ted.
Nice.
Hello, I'm Ted Hendricks of the Los Angeles Raiders.
Ted Hendricks, amazing character. Ted pulled up in a limo at the Oakland Airport Hilton, where I was staying my rookie year, and said, "We're going out." You knew you weren't coming back. You went across the San Francisco Bridge and you just weren't coming back.
There's a Renaissance fair every year in California, and I like to collect a mask every year. I'll wear them driving down the street in the car, and you get some very interesting looks from different people. Kind of like stare at you, I wonder what kind of human beings behind that mask.
Ted went where Ted wanted to go. That was the magic of Ted Hendricks.
Great stuff there. We got to hear Howie Long in there.
Yeah.
And, it's funny, though. So we've told this story on this show before. In fact, we had Ted Hendricks' sister talk about the story about him riding the horse in.
Yeah,
remember that?
yeah.
Remember that? That was not long ago. So that
Yes.
was great. So he's absolutely one of the all-timers and Hall of Famer in his own right. All right, next up, Jeff at number 46. Hey, you guys!
6'8", 280, totally chiseled. You know how big that is?
He had the number 2 tattooed on his fingers. And he would say, "What day is it today?" Tuesday. So Tuesday was his night out every week. And maybe Wednesday you might get him.
Woo! Yeah! Go Raiders!
Tell me when we're rolling.
We're rolling right now.
We're rolling?
They're filming the movie North Dallas 40, and then Tools went down there just to be a stand-in. And all of a sudden, he starts acting. Next one was Caveman with Ringo Starr. Then he goes into the Goonies. Hey, you guys! It was just a great teammate, hard to goal.
Hey, just go ahead.
When anybody ever talks about him, I say he was a classic.
Man, John Matuzak was one of the best, and one of my favorite things is we've done on the show too about he talks about the offensive linemen of some of the other teams. Well, he knows what cologne they wear because he's in such close proximity to them, and then he identifies that a few of them they don't wear any cologne. He always cracked me up, and of course he was amazing as Sloth and Goonie. So, and an amazing player. Like, it just, anyways, Twos is one of my all-time favorite. Like, you can't get a bigger character than John Matuzak, and even Stabler in his book Snake talks, about being the keeper of the twos is an entire chapter, and it's fantastic. All right, next up we got speaking of the Los Angeles Raiders, as Ted Hendricks did.
Yeah,
let's go to Bo, man. Bo knows number 39.
Bo Jackson was a mythical figure to probably a lot of people my age. Probably the coolest player to watch.
Bo, larger than life again. And then you had this big brute, Bosworth. Sort of got exposed by our Bo Jackson.
Yeah. 2, here's Bo. And here goes Bo for the touchdown. He and Bosworth one-on-one, and Jackson just jumps him into the end zone.
I think it was just for, who's the biggest, the baddest, and the toughest. Bo was.
Not just the Nike campaign with Bo Knows, but it was the baseball with the KC Royals, and he lived up to the hype.
Especially when he was with the Raiders back in them Tecmo Bowl days, He was just somebody that did things that we never saw before.
Seems superhuman. Absolutely seems superhuman. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
One of the things about Bo is that he wasn't like this crazy, like wild figure like Matuzak and some of these other guys were, but he was that was at the heyday, or not the heyday, I don't even want to call it, but like that was on the early end or the beginnings of like marketing players.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you think about the whole Bo Knows campaign with Nike,
Yes.
the Tecmo Bowl, like he was elevated into this like mythic type figure because of not only the marketing around him, but then he really was like legitimately one of the best athletes to have ever like walked the planet. How much of an awareness did you have? Now you're on the younger end of things. Like, you were a kid. Were you even?
I don't think I ever even played Tecmo Bowl.
No,
no, I didn't. I didn't do that. But I mean, if you want to talk about Madden cover athletes and stuff, this guy had his own game. You know what I mean? Like, he stands alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm trying to find. I put up a picture not long ago on our social media. I met Bo Jackson.
Yeah, you did at a golfing out.
Yeah, sure
golf
did.
Outing,
yeah,
right?
like over the summer, I met Bo Jackson and throngs of people around him still to this day. Like, he just absolutely commanded a presence that was unlike anybody else that was out there. It was a pro-am. There was a lot of other celebrities out there, and he absolutely commanded the biggest crowds. It was pretty impressive. I'll see if I can't find that picture, and I'll hold it up here during the next one. All right, so next up, no surprise here, number 27.
Come on, be a little bit more like me. Be a little bit of a jerk. Yep. I got a reputation to try and live up to also. Regular. I mean, I am one hot mother.
But there's also the nice, pleasant John side, the TV guy, the happy-go-lucky guy.
I love it. I sit in my office and I just shake. I get so excited.
Bang! Yeah! Boom, boom, boom! Get out!
It's okay. It's all right. Is that what you want to hear? No. You gotta know one thing, man. This is the last shot right here. You know what I'm saying? And you're either gonna explode onto the scene, or you're just gonna be like a. If you're nice to these guys, that doesn't work either. You might as well be an asshole. This is exactly what I am.
Huh? Look at a cartoon.
Knock on wood if you're with me. Come on, I gotta take a leak. All right, knock on wood if you're not.
Hey, I got one thing to say about that.
All right, go ahead.
We're running out of time. My life is running out of lifespan.
Yeah, it is. So here, real quick, before we talk about Gruden, here's a fat Murph with Bo.
Oh, nice.
There's fat Murph with Bo.
You pudgy Murph.
I know. Look at that belly. That thing is kicking right. It's actually more shirt than it is belly.
You know what? I would dream of having a belly like that.
That thing's gone now, man. I'm on the
I'm on the old Uncle Mosh diet.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm on the slimmer side of things.
Yeah,
but anyways, so there's Chucky. So look, if Chucky didn't prove in this year's Hard Knocks that he is one of the ultimate characters that the NFL has ever seen, let alone the Raiders have ever seen, I mean, he's right there behind another coach who we're going to get to here in just a minute.
Well,
so not to just graze over Gruden, but Gruden's still around. He's the only one on this list that's still active, being a Raider character. So we'll move on from him, and let's go next to Darth Raider.
I called him 3 Mile Lyle because he was a lot like a nuclear reactor. He was all about the rage.
He's one of the few men in the NFL who has achieved the destruction of a training machine.
Lyle Zato. He was a tough SOB.
Anybody who tells me that they go out there to have fun playing football, they're a liar. Because this game isn't fun. This game is a war.
I sometimes think the fact that he was a character overshadows what an extraordinary talent he was.
And I'm mean, and I'm tough, and I'm the best defensive end pro football's ever seen. Me, Lyle Alzado.
In the interview before the game, he said that I was really good looking, he liked my hair and all that. He didn't know if he was going to sack me or kiss me. I said, I'd rather him sack me than kiss me.
Joe Theismann and I were in the Superstars together. He's a great athlete, and if I get a chance in the game to tear his head off, I'll do that.
He's holding me. I told him to keep his hands off me. He didn't keep his hands off, so I punched him.
You punched him?
Yeah.
I grew up in Brooklyn. And I don't particularly think there's a person on this earth that can kick my ass.
You will have a worldwide whooping.
Lyle, you were about to fight Muhammad Ali. Are you Rocky, or are you just crazy?
He is the first man to sack Joe Namath and smack Muhammad Ali.
Kind of based your day on the first hello in the morning. At one time we gave him a mood ring, actually.
Don't you analyze me and don't you tell me what I am until you get close enough to understand what I am. Then you can make an analysis of me.
What? How do you pronounce his name?
It's Alzado.
What is it?
Alzado.
I'll never forget that for the rest of my life.
No, you won't, and the chat room won't let you forget it either.
My gosh, I'll never live it down. Alzado.
Lyle Alzado, 3 Mile
Darth
Lyle.
Raider.
So
Alzado.
So I've got a couple fun little things on there for you. All right. First pro football player I ever met.
Who's that?
Lyle Alzado.
No way.
Yeah, my Uncle Louie, Uncle Mosh's brother just ahead of him. He's got 2 older brothers. The one just ahead of him, Uncle Louie.
Yeah.
He was a movie theater manager, and I was in there. I used to go and hang out with him, like hang out at the movie theater and stuff, and just like watch movies and stuff, because that's what you do when you hang out with your uncle who manages a movie theater. And one day he goes, "Hey, Josh, go down there to the front row and go tell that guy you want his autograph." So I'm in like the, I don't know, 1st grade maybe. I don't remember what year it was or anything, but I go waddling down there, man, and I had a piece of paper with me, and I handed it to him, and I asked him if I could have his autograph, and he signed it to a future Super Bowl champion, to Josh, future Super Bowl champion. For those of you, spoiler alert, my real name's Josh. To Josh, future Super Bowl champion, Lyle Alzado. It was awesome. And if you listen to so we just heard all that hardcore Darth Raider, rah, 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 gonna kick your ass kind of stuff. But you know, when you listen to him in other interviews and you hear about his greatest accomplishments in life, it's not winning Super Bowls. It's not sacking people. It's the difference that he made. I'm getting chills right now. Seriously, like for real chills.
Wow, look at that.
The difference in lives that he made for kids when he would visit hospitals and he would donate to different foundations and all that. That's the most significant.
Oh, I got chills. That's awesome.
That's what Lyle was all about. So
I'm all about that.
He was this crazy, gnarly dude that was incredibly kind to kids, and I'm one of them. So I can attest to that. And he was just one of the absolute all-time greats. All right, next up.
Hey, do you still have that autograph?
No, I don't know where it's at, man. I lost it a long
we need
time
to
ago.
we need to go to San Jose and find it.
I know, right? Yeah, well, I'm sure it's bumping around somewhere. Maybe on my mom's or something. I don't know, but yeah, pretty cool stuff. All right, so next up, let's go. Jeff, are you just here so you don't get fined?
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
How about that this guy wore number 24 and is number 24 on this list?
Yes. You kind of shy. Nah. You just don't want to talk, really.
I'm just about that action, boss.
Depending on how you view Marshawn Lynch and his behavior at press conferences, interviews in the locker room, he's not there to play anyone else's game but his. And his game is football.
Pushes the man, 35, look at him go!
And on the field, he was one of the best at that game.
Holy catfish! Marshawn Lynch says, get out of my way!
Oh, it looks so good! It must have came from the stars up above!
Personality-wise, he was amazing. Everything out of his mouth is beautiful. You know, he's sort of a Yogi Berra, if you will.
DJ Hooshmazoo. DJ, who's your mama? Hold on, tell them what channel we on.
Oh, this channel 83 pay-per-view, man.
Only pay-per-view. Hold on, how they subscribe?
You gotta be blessed.
You heard it. You're welcome.
I think if you're a professional football player and you're working your butt off on the football field, the idea of putting on a suit and sitting behind a desk and answering questions politely should feel a bit absurd. And I think it's that absurdity that he's sort of, calling out.
It don't matter what y'all think, what y'all say about me.
He didn't like all of the hype and the hoopla and what he would think of as BS in a lot of ways. He was quiet, but he was making he was speaking loudly.
I'm here so I won't get fined. And I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Repetitive as it may sound, there's something really imaginative about the way that he answers questions.
Marshawn, can you describe the 79-yard touchdown run?
Thanks for asking.
How about the stomach issue early in the game?
I appreciate you asking about my stomach. Thank you. Hey, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
I think Marshawn Lynch is one of the most legendary characters in the history of the NFL because he did it his way. He had magical moments on the football field, and he took care of his people.
What are you doing for Christmas? Christmas? I mean, I got to get to Thanksgiving first. I'm going to give out turkeys back in the hood.
I'm with you. You want me to come?
You will? I appreciate it though, big dog. Hang on. But I'm gonna be in the hood giving out turkeys like Nino Brown, baby. Like Nino Brown, trying to restore my community.
That's amazing.
He's the best.
He's just about that action ball.
About that action ball. Some of my favorite though, and it's long, so we can't play it here on the show. And it's even though it's bleeped out. Did you ever see when it was filmed before Seattle played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and Conan O'Brien does this video, this segment, skit, whatever, where he'll play video games with somebody, with a celebrity.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
He did one with Gronk and Marshawn.
Yes.
And it's the new Mortal Kombat movie or Mortal Kombat game.
Yes.
Dude, it's
epic.
Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it will put you in tears, Raider Nation.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, go look up Gronk, Marshawn, play video games with Conan O'Brien. You will cry. It is the funniest dang thing. Marshawn, it's one of those times where you really see his personality come out. He's not just being quiet, so he's not just there so he doesn't get fined. He's letting it fly, man, and he's just absolutely one of the all-time best. All right, so these next three are really kind of populate 3 of the 4 on my Mount Rushmore.
Oh, yeah,
and
the GOATs.
especially he's number 21 on the list, but he's number 12 in your program, and he's number 1 in my heart in terms of Raider Nation, and that's Snake, man.
Everyone refers to the Raiders as the bad guys. Are you?
Yeah, and I like that image. I think a lot of our players like the image. If that's the way you have to play to win, then that's the way we play.
I mean, that's why you like the Raiders, man. Kenny Stabler was up shooting pool and drinking at 2 o'clock in the morning before the game.
Everybody's metabolism is different. Some people need 8 hours. Some people need 3 hours. I don't really need an awful lot of sleep, and I would read the game plan by the light of the jukebox sometimes.
I think he kind of spoke his mind and told it like it was, and if people liked it, fine. If not, fine. And
cooler than most and crazier than most. He's, to me, the rock and roll athlete when you could be a rock and roll athlete. A old legend.
There's people all around him are jumping up and down and yelling and screaming. The fans are going crazy, and he can stand over there on the sideline and just be as calm as he is during the week, and I could never understand that. That's amazing.
The time that I spent on the street or having fun with the nightlife, I never let it interfere with the fact that I realized that I had a terrific responsibility to our team and to our owner and to our coach and to my fans to give them their $14 worth every Sunday.
Yasha Heifetz never played a violin with more dexterity than Kenny Stabler.
They cut that soundbite short, but what Bill King is saying there, no one's ever played the violin with more dexterity than Kenny Stabler is playing the Minnesota Vikings right now. And he's talking about the way that Kenny absolutely picked apart the Purple People Eaters and that defense of the Minnesota Vikings in the 76 season, 77 Super Bowl. And
I wish I would have been a fan back then.
Oh, man. Well, and it's funny because, like I mentioned earlier on the show, that, these guys were kind of like superheroes to me. And that's because, frankly, I was too young. So I was born in 73. That game was in 77. I was 4 years old. So I didn't have an awareness of Kenny until I got older, and my uncles would start telling me stories about Stabler, and all those stories about, studying the playbook by the jukebox light and all that, and all the craziness of the Santa Rosa training camps and all that kind of stuff. Like, as I became a young man and heard more and more of these stories, it was like those Raiders became these like epic figures, and Kenny was the leader. He was the freaking, Batman of the Justice League. Like, he was the guy that was the one that led this, troop of crazy people, from the Soul Patrol, the, Sis Drunk and Mad Store, all of them. You guys all know the names, but Kenny was the leader. And the thing about Kenny that was amazing was that he was such a clutch player. So he had this craziness to him, but he also had this clutch gene about him that even John Madden said to the day that he, was inducted in the Hall of Fame, if he ever had to pick a player to, make a pass or to make one final drive, he would pick Kenny Stabler. And, if it weren't for the Raiders getting caught up in the churn of the Dolphins of the 70s, the undefeated Dolphins, and the Steelers of the 70s, and literally some of the greatest teams of all time, which the Raiders were, if it weren't for that, There's no doubt in my mind that Kenny Stabler would have led those teams to multiple championships.
Absolutely.
I mean, this guy was absolutely next level. And when you look at the players he was surrounded with offensively, from Blitnikoff and Casper and whatnot, it's just it's such a fun story. And I know anybody listening to our show, you should be highly familiar with the legend of Snake. And if you're not, go look it up. You won't be disappointed.
Yes.
The pictures from the silver and black attack to the middle fingers to driving speedboats to he's just one of the absolute greatest characters. And thankfully he's in the top 21 here. Again, my list, he'd be right up there, in the top 3. But that's okay. You got any thoughts on Stabler? How much of an awareness did you? Much of anything?
I wish I could have seen him. When did you say you were born?
73.
Oh my gosh.
I know, man. I'm like way older than you. I'm way older than anybody listening, or for the most part.
I was born in 1988.
Oh, jeez. All right. You don't have a point of reference.
So I really don't have a point of reference.
Hit your own stifle button.
Yeah.
Will you stifle?
There you go. You stifle yourself and let me go on about the legend of Kenny.
Right. Yeah. I don't have anything to add to that.
All right, and also I would like to say this, and thank you to Alexa Stabler, his youngest daughter, who has who is now an agent and helms Stabler Sports and her own sports agency, and is an agent to numerous NFL players.
Yes,
and she has joined us here on the show.
She's been on the show, right?
A few times, yeah.
And she's almost a made woman.
Almost one more time. I think she should be on twice. Once in person and once via phone.
We need to get her on one more time, so she can be a made woman.
That would be cool.
Because you know what? Because we have that awesome sound clip,
and we only have one, Haley.
And we only have Haley from Scotland. Queen Haley.
Right, respect.
Pay your respects,
Queen Haley.
Yes, we need some more women to call this show.
All right, because you made the soundbite.
Because I made the soundbite and I love
it. All right, next up, let's that's the top 3 right here, guys.
Oh yes, number 3.
There should be 1 and 2, but we'll go to number 3, and he's Madden.
Yeah, welcome to Canton, everyone. This is the first time I've been on an airplane since 1979. Jim Otto sitting up here would say, I used to always tell the team, don't worry about the horse being blind, just load the wagon. Go get it.
One of my favorite lines.
John Madden, what comes to mind?
Suit up and shut up is what he taught you.
Okay, come on, defense! Let's start off and stay after the whole game. I didn't have a lot of rules because I saw some of the teams and the rules they had that didn't have anything to do with winning or losing. So the 3 rules that I had was, be on time, pay attention, and number 3 was play like hell when I tell you to.
What the hell are you trying to do? Never call one on them? Madden is on the field. He wants to know if it's real. They said yes. Get your big butt out of here. He does.
He was a different looking coach. A lot of the coaches in those days with the shirt and tie and Landry, and he was totally different. He was sloppy.
John Madden shows jubilance and exuberance.
I just loved the way he acted and what he said and how he said it.
John.
Going to the Super Bowl.
And then he took that to the booth.
When they go out in the field, you go after everything in sight.
He established a template for announcing, and he spawned a lot of really bad imitators. But there was only one John Madden.
He makes a little basketball twist there and pivot, and boom, the ball's there.
Wham, pow, boom.
Greg Cook, he's pulling here. He gets walls. Boom, stay on your feet. That's it. Find another one.
Boom, and the smack and the this and the that.
Peyton Manning thinks he's going to make a tackle. Boom, he gets knocked right out of the screen.
I grew up with John Madden as the announcer. That was always like the voice of Sunday.
This is a father bucket. This is a mother bucket. And since the last game, they had a baby bucket. So this is a baby bucket.
I guess that clears up the question as to whether they're married or not.
It was amazing to me how much I understood when he was talking about it. It was something that was so alien to me. And the way that he broke it down, I feel like I understood so much more football from John Madden.
Boom, we cross him. The left goes to the right goes to the left. This guy crosses here, he crosses here. They have no idea where we are, who we are, where we're coming from, or who we're throwing to.
Very interesting.
Oh, here's a picture of one.
Turducken.
Yeah.
Picture. That is it.
And you see, you cut it like right down here.
Authenticity. He was the same guy. No matter where he was the same guy. And I think that all the viewers knew that's who they were listening to.
Then the minute it's over, you got to pull the pants up. Now, wait a minute. I'm the most...
John Madden was the ultimate character, right?
As I was saying, light beer tastes great. That's, to me, this is where it all starts. You see the, 7-man sled. Boom, drive. And then you can just ride it the whole thing.
Number one, people who follow and love the game respected him greatly as a coach.
John Madden's grin is from ear to ear. He looks like a slick watermelon.
He was an iconic broadcaster.
He was going like this. He was putting his hands down. I said, that's not a move when you're introduced. You don't do that.
And then in addition to that, the guy behind one of the great video games in the history of video games.
Yeah, it was.
I'm doing good. I just didn't accept it. John's really had 3 careers, and they've all been amazing. He could have gone into the Hall of Fame on any one of those levels.
I was in Canton the day he was inducted in the Hall of Fame. He was not afraid to let people know just how thrilled he was.
I can't take it away.
And it was one of the coolest memories I have.
This has been the sweetest ride of them all. Thank you.
All right, good stuff there from Coach Madden. So I forget who it was. I think it was Al Michaels there in the clip says,
yeah,
he's had 3 careers. I say 4. He was Coach Madden first. Then he went to the booth. Then he was in the commercials, and that's like when I was a kid.
Yeah, the Miller Lite commercials.
Yes, and then, of course, Madden, the video game, and which I still play avidly, and I know you do as well.
Yeah, I do.
But, he's one of those guys, and I'm glad he made the top 3 because he transcended. So not only does he have a ring, and he's got this Hall of Fame career, but I think it was also Al Michaels said he could have literally gone into the Hall of Fame for 3 different things.
Yeah.
Like how many people can say that you could go in as a coach, as a broadcaster, and as an influencer, for lack of a better term, with what he's done with Madden in the commercials. Like Madden is, I don't even know what else to say about him. He just literally transcended the sport.
To me, Madden is the coach for the NFL. When you think of NFL coaches, you think John Madden. He's the guy. He really is. He's the guy.
He's the guy.
Absolutely. For the in your era, he's the coach, and even in kids like me when I'm 31, but he's the video game guy too.
Video game guy.
And he was the guy with what's his, it's on the tip of my tongue. Who did he broadcast with?
Al Michaels.
Well,
Pat Summerall.
And Pat Summerall.
That was his most famous for Pat, but recently it was Al Michaels.
Madden and Summerall were, when I was growing up, watching Aikman and all that stuff, he was the guy.
He was the guy, absolutely.
Yes.
And Madden and Summerall were absolutely probably the most iconic broadcasting duo ever in terms of NFL football. I think back to those CBS days, even way before the Fox stuff, the CBS days and the 6-legged turkeys and turduckens and all that kind of stuff. It was awesome stuff.
Hey, do you want some breaking news?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, do it.
Yeah. So Maurice Jones-Drew, has released his top running backs in the NFL as of today.
Please tell me he puts 28 at number 1.
He puts 28 at number 1.
Does he really?
He really does.
Wow.
Josh Jacobs number 1 in Maurice Jones-Drew's heart.
Wow. Well, absolutely. Well, that's pretty cool. I know he's leading in a few like average categories.
Yeah.
Like as far as like average yards per game and whatnot. And the Raiders have played one less game than the guys that are ahead of him.
Yes.
If I remember right. Because it's like
the Raiders had an early bye week, so yeah.
Yes, because like Dalvin Cook and Zeke, and then there was somebody. Freaking Fournette's on that list. Like he's up there. But again, the Raiders have played one last game.
Yeah, but he's still like top 5.
Yeah, that's legit, man. That's legit. All right, good stuff there.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. So when we do the Mount Rushmore question. Yeah, you did. You should have done that first. Go ahead. Now follow it up.
And now for something completely different.
There you go. And now we're back.
No, you got to do that first. Masha Jr.
Sorry.
Knucklehead. You got to hit the button, then you do the what's different, and then we go back into it.
You know what? I'm learning, man. I'm learning, man. Yeah, Wyoming Raiders still giving me crap about Alzado.
Hey, put 2 hands on that football when you cross the goal line, Jeff.
Right. Yeah, he's still...
Hey, and speaking of that, before we get into this last one here.
Okay.
If I hear one more person say that Aaron Rodgers punked the Raiders by holding the football out before he crossed the goal line, by showing Derek Carr that this is how you do it, I'm not going to call you a bad word. I'll just say You're misguided and you're misinformed, because if you don't watch football, then you don't know that a lot of quarterbacks do that, including Jared Goff in the Rams game. There are tons of quarterbacks that take the football and extend it out in front of them before they cross the goal line, because guess what? As soon as the nose of that football crosses the goal line, then it's automatically a touchdown. That wasn't Aaron Rodgers punking Derek Carr.
No.
Please.
That's just what they do. That's what quarterbacks do.
That's what they all do.
Shut up.
Stifle yourself. Hit it.
Yeah.
Will you stifle yourself?
Hey.
Yeah.
Get one more.
Stifle yourself?
Yeah. Hey. Get one more.
Will you stifle
All right.
yourself?
That's enough.
All right,
That's enough.
of that.
That's enough.
All right. Should be number one.
Should be number one.
Instead, we got Joe Namath. But all right.
Hey,
whatever.
you know what? You know who should be number one?
Who should be number one?
You know what? I was listening to. We love sports radio.
Love it.
We love sports radio.
Yes.
And you know what? One of our favorite sportscasters gave the number one guy a shout out.
Oh yeah?
He sure did. You want to hear it?
Well, yeah, play
I've
it.
got the sound clip right
All
here.
do it.
Oh, my buddy Murph. He's not just consistent, he's a man of his word.
There he is.
How about that?
Number,
Thank you, Rich Eisen.
Yeah. He's
You
number
got a lot
one.
of-
He's number one in our hearts. It's our buddy Murph.
You got a lot of guys tonight, Swaggo.
I do. I got guys for days,
That
man.
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where'd
Max
you-
Crosby and Rich Eisen.
Do that again. That was cool.
Oh, my buddy Murph. He's not just consistent, he's a man of his word.
I like it.
You
man.
heard
I
it here
like All right,
first.
absolutely. That's
you
good
heard it here
stuff.
first.
All right, here we go.
Number one is Murph, and number two is and number two is who?
Well, it's not Joe Namath. It's Al Davis.
As a young guy, I had a dream that someday I would build the finest organization in professional sports.
Al Davis was probably the single greatest force that the NFL has ever had.
You know, when you met Al Davis, it was like meeting, Frank Sinatra or somebody.
Just win, baby.
The pride and poise, the commitment to excellence, everything he talked about, he lived about it, he brought daily.
The Godfather. You know, me growing up in the Bay Area, Oakland at that time was sort of a gritty place. We always felt like we were the stepchild, and so you had this attitude. And Al sort of embodied that fight.
The prime thing is you have to win. You have to win. Otherwise, you can't be a success in professional football.
Let's go.
Our game was the throwing, the deep ball. So with that ice, we had to move those receivers in, and that narrowed the field for us. I'll never forget Pete Rozelle said to me, well, it's the same for both sides. I said, damn it, Pete, you don't even understand what you're talking about. It's not the same for both sides.
No fights? Oh, man, we got to have some fights.
Here come all the Raiders. Holy Toledo, it's a free-for-all.
We are mavericks per se. We do our own thing. We want to dominate the environment rather than just be a part of the environment. I didn't care as much about being respected as I cared about being feared and being imitated. And then respect could come after that. I love the idea that I know down deep they fear us. They fear everything about us. Winning Super Bowls is based on power and physicalness. Within the first 5 plays of a game, the other team's quarterback must go down. And he must go down hard. When we came out of the huddle, we weren't looking for first downs. We wanted touchdowns. We wanted the big play. It's like having the bomb and being willing to drop it. The great rivalries continue. And to the people and the community in Oakland, we're proud to represent you and we intend to hold it. Thank you.
And that New York accent, man, the Raiders. He's just, I can't help but smile when I think about Al Davis. He's missed, man. He was special.
The greatest organization in professional sports, the Raiders, a standard of excellence by which all other organizations could be measured.
He was his own man, certainly by any stretch of the imagination, had his way of doing things, and a lot of negative things have been said about Al, but the one thing I think that you'll find that will resonate from everyone who really knew him is that he was a very loyal guy. He loved his players, he loved the team, and he was totally committed and dedicated to putting the best possible team out there on the field. So whether you love him or you hate him, he certainly was one of the great characters in the NFL history.
This was the finest hour in the history of the Oakland Raiders. You were magnificent out there today. You really were. And you tell them one thing. Just win. Just win.
Fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's tied, he throws. It is.
So Coach Davis just said a trigger word for me.
What's that?
He was talking about Carson Palmer.
Oh, gosh. I don't want to talk about Carson Palmer,
Antonio
Brown, Khalil Mack, Amari Cooper. I want to talk about any of those guys.
Yeah. We hate those guys.
Jamarcus Russell. Let's just stack them all up.
Yeah, I'm in a barf.
No, let's talk about instead something I forgot to mention earlier, and I want to hit this. In the spirit of 24, the greatness of the number 24, we've talked about, of course, Willie Brown, rest in peace. We've talked about Charles Woodson. We've talked about Marshawn Lynch. Our new 24 is Jonathan Abram. And for those of you that missed it, before we get to see a fan, and I forgot to play this earlier.
Oh,
we're going to do that.
We have to play it.
We have to play it
because it's one of the greatest of all time clips.
It
ever.
is. He went legend this week. So
yeah, he did.
We love him as a player, although we've only seen him play one game. But he, in this spirit of characters and great characters of the league, Jonathan Abram is jumping up early as far as one of the with him and Max Crosby, I feel like we're kind of returning to the character of the Raiders.
Yeah,
and
what the Raiders are all about.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And so check this out. This is on the Left Coast Show. Jonathan Abram goes legend.
No, I don't eat hot sauce.
Well, now you've taken it way too damn far. Now
you're from the South.
If you don't like hot sauce, there's something wrong.
Hey, let me tell you what.
Did you have a math teacher that made you drink a thing of hot sauce?
Nah. So I was in 8th grade, and all my friends. So one of my friends brought some 357 Mad Dog Ghost Pepper to school. It's like one of the hottest hot sauces in the world.
School has ruined all food for you.
Man, listen. So they bet me $1,000 if I could drink a teaspoon of it and go 10 minutes without drinking anything.
What?
How much money?
Where are these kids getting all this? What type of school is this? This is one of those expensive private schools.
Nah, hell, that's a 2A small school. It was like everybody put in on it. It was like $100. Everybody put in like $100. And so, man, I didn't even get a teaspoon because like we didn't have a spoon. So I put it on a Dorito chip, like covered the Dorito chip. Eat it.
Nacho or Cool Ranch?
It don't even matter. Okay. Man, after like 2 minutes, the hot sauce was so hot that they gave me the day off from school.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
I had to go.
You're crying. Your mouth was watering.
I put mayonnaise on my skin. I felt like my skin was burning. I was drinking milk. I clogged the toilet up, put ice in it, and had to sit my ass in it because like my balls and my ass. What just happened? This is the hot
one Dorito.
One Dorito.
Pepper from the hot sauce.
The hot sauce. Yeah.
And since that day, I have not eaten hot sauce, no buffalo wing, no nothing.
There's two things that are going on now. So number one, Jonathan Abram is telling this amazing story about his bits getting set on fire because of this. Because of the hot pepper, and concurrent with that, my 13-year-old kid comes in and wants to be part of the show, but he's wearing his underwear, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, you're on the internet in your underwear." I'm like,
what are you doing, man?
You want to go put some shorts on?
Well, yeah, put some drawers on, bro. And then we're talking about Abram, and he has to ice his balls and butt. Oh my gosh!
I'm dying over here.
Oh my gosh!
It's so funny.
Oh, it's amazing!
So
it's amazing! It's amazing!
Oh my gosh! Jeez,
Jonathan Abram, you're a goat, man.
You are a goat.
Hey,
he went legend right there, dude. Straight up.
Hey, and you're wearing an Abram jersey right now.
No, this is my blacked out Willie Brown 24, dude.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he reps 24 well.
Oh, absolutely, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Okay, so hey.
All right, hey, so see a fan's mailbag. So if you want to, I mentioned earlier at the top of the show, You can contact us 2 ways to get involved with the Sea of Fans. You can email us, show@RaidersFanRadio.com.
Yeah.
Or you can call us, 909-345-3346. That's the Raider.
Absolutely, yes.
That's the Raiders Fan Radio hotline. You can call it anytime, 24/7, and leave us a message. So
yes.
When you email us, we feature those at the top.
Yes.
And
yes.
Swaggo, what do you got?
Email us, show@RaidersFanRadio.com. And hey, if you want to call or email, you can join this amazing list. This amazing...
No, don't do that yet.
Oh.
Because we got a new one. No, you're jumping all ahead. Follow the script there, Hotshot.
Hey, easy. Sorry.
I spent all that time filming it. There you go.
Easy.
Fill this thing out so it can be followed. There.
Oh my. Well,
Come
sorry.
on,
you didn't put that on the. You didn't put that on the list. Okay.
Emails is at the top there.
Well, sorry. Okay.
Right, Uncle Mosh is gonna crush you.
Oh
for
my
this.
gosh, he's gonna kill
emails.
me. Okay, emails. Dear Uncle Mosh, Murph, Capo, Nation, family, Little Murph, miss you, Sonny. Don't mean. I mean you don't call. You don't write. I think that's everyone, isn't it? Oh wait. Oops. Sorry, Swaggy J. I almost forgot you. First of all, thanks for the shirt. I've worn it on game day. Didn't realize that Murph's skull or Mosh's skull is gray. That's pretty awesome. And the 2X fits perfect. I must be getting my steps in. Great game. Slightly uneventful. Nothing big happened except for the bandwagon is closed. Okay, I will say obvious turning point was the deja vu all over again. Love the same people who want Card to take more chances, be more aggressive, are the exact same people that want him to join Conley in Houston or whatever. Yes, it was a competitive game up to that point, and if we scored that drive to close out the half, you could have flipped the score. This team isn't made for comebacks right now. We kept our composure against the Bears, who lost and sucked again this week. Yes, which works out good for our draft picks. But you don't give a surgeon a chance; he will dissect you and send you home feeling like your purpose is lost. Give us a lead and we choke Aaron, and the clock is out. Not many QBs would have even tried that, let alone twice in the recent years. And yes, he has to stop that. But let's talk about why he and others have made mistakes. In competition for some, there is a gambling gene. You play at a high level and ride that fine line. You slip and it's catastrophic. But you make it and you're a freaking hero. The old live by 3, die by the 3. You miss every shot you don't try, but you break your TV and call for Carr's head on a spike. Remember how many Brett Favre seasons, hell, even career, ended in an interception. For every holy roller, there is an immaculate deception. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I basically have to just say one thing. This is Raider Nation. We don't win pretty. Hell, we lose ugly. We win ugly. How do you think Al came up with just win, baby? We want pretty wins. That's and on the other side of the bay with wine and cheese crowd. Follow the bandwagon Browns fans. Oh wait, 9-0 over the 9-0 over the team from Washington. Have fun with that. Besides, every true Raider gets an uneasy feeling when the talking heads start talking about good things about our team. It's like the other mother-in-law stopping by suddenly.
Today, Junior.
Well, yeah.
Come on, Jeff.
I'm having trouble.
I hear that.
Hey, stop it.
Okay, go.
It's like your mother-in-law stopping by suddenly just to drop off dinner. Do you eat it? Welcome aboard Southwest Swag, Jeff. Put on your seatbelt and strap up your helmet. This is a hell of a ride. This is where the hands...
Jeez.
Shut up, man. You're killing me. You're killing me. Hey,
give it to Vinny. Let the Vinny read it over there.
Here. Vinny.
Read it, Vinny.
Vinny.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, my gosh.
Start with welcome aboard Southwest Swag, Jeff.
There you go. Yeah, read that, Vinny. So welcome, Vinny Murphy to the show.
Put your mouth on the mic.
Yeah, read it and say it loud. Go ahead, read it.
Hello. Where is it?
Southwest, near the bottom. I'm almost done. It only took me 15 minutes to get to that point.
Read it, Vinny. Go.
Only 15 minutes.
Jeez.
Read it.
I don't know where.
Just pick a spot and go.
Okay. I basically have just one thing to say. This is Raider Nation. We don't win pretty. Hell, we lose ugly. We win ugly. How do you think Al came up with just win, baby? You want pretty wins. That's on the other side of the bay. That's on the other side of the bay. Oh, crap. I just lost my place.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. You're killing me.
Uncle Mosh is going to...
Cheese crowd, with the wine and cheese crowd. Follow the bandwagon Browns fans. Oh, wait. 9-0 over the team from Washington.
See, it's hard.
Oh, my gosh.
It really is.
Uncle Mosh is going to crush you guys. Give it to me.
Take it.
Jeez. All right. I got to do everything myself around here.
Take it out.
All right. All right. Welcome
I can
aboard.
talk, but I can't
Welcome
read.
aboard Southwest Swag Jeff.
Can't do either.
Put on your seatbelt and strap up your helmet. This is a hell of a ride. This is where the hands must be kept in at all times because the real season is about to begin. P.S. Was it just me or did little Cleland get caught spectating too much? I got to say, I was jealous of his seat. Best in the house. Good thing halfway through the second quarter, he got yanked. Come on, big fella, hit someone. The nation will pass a hat if you need help with any resulting fines. Other than that, everyone still on the team looked great. Can't wait for Wednesday to get out of this funk. You guys got some heavy lifting to do. You ain't kidding, Stacy Ruff.
Well, yeah.
Thank you for your email.
Oh, my
Vinny,
gosh.
Who's next?
Hey, I
What?
think... do we need 30 seconds of Paul?
You want 30 seconds of Paul?
We need some 30 seconds of Paul.
Yep.
What was that again? 30 seconds of Paul.
Paul! 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 Paul!
Paul.
Paul! 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 Claude! Claude! Claude!
Paul?
Paul! 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 Paul!
Paul, your name Paul?
Paul? Paul?
I met him with Paul.
Who?
Paul.
Paul, yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul.
Hi. I'm Paul.
All right, here we go. Stepping in for Swag Jeff, who was stepping in for
Uncle Mosh,
is now Vinny.
Little Murph.
Little Murph. That's right. Go ahead, Vinny. Go ahead and read that email from Paul.
Good evening, fellas. Hope you're all well. As I started putting my email together, I heard the news of Willie Brown's passing. It's heartbreaking. It really is. The word legend is attached far too many people without any bias these days. Not Willie Brown, though. He's always been around. On the field, off the field, at the draft. He's always been there, and it's so sad to think he won't be anymore. I used an Al Davis quote when we lost Cliff Branch, and the same sentiment is appropriate now. Time never really stops for the great ones. It reaches out and warps them in a cloak of immortality. The Old Man Willie audio always made me a little teary-eyed, and it will even more so now. God bless number 24. On to the Packers game. Frustrating is the first word that comes to mind. There are others, but this is a family show. That really...
Good one, Paul.
All right. That really should have been a closer game than it turned out to be. We may have gotten away with our errors against lesser teams, not the Packers, and definitely not Aaron Rodgers. I'm with Murph when it comes to Rodgers. I've always admired him and enjoyed him and watched him. When he was a bad day, he's still better than most, but when he plays like that, you just can't make the errors we made and hope to compete. There were lots of positives again from our offense. We moved the ball well. Jacobs, Waller, and Moreau? I don't really know how to say that name. Moreau?
Oh, my God.
Moreau.
Vinny!
Moreau.
It's
Vinny!
Hey, easy. Foster Moreau. So his nickname is the Island of Foster Moreau.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
You have no room to be yelling at somebody about pronunciation and reading swag. All right, Vinny.
Yeah.
Alzado.
Moro and Alzado.
Alzado, yeah. All right, go ahead.
Are developing into high-quality players, and
Go ahead, Vinny. Keep it rolling.
we're
You're
ticking
doing good.
lots of boxes. We need to weave a little more magic on the defense now, though. Houston will be another tough challenge, but we won after Al's passing, so hopefully we can again for Old Man Willie. Let's hope also that Gary Clooney doesn't bite us.
Gary and Conley. Close enough. That's all right. Go for it.
That's all right.
You're good
It
enough.
doesn't matter. He's not a Raider anymore.
Yeah, exactly, right? Go ahead, Vin.
All right. Finally, I wouldn't dream of I don't even know how to say this word. I'm horrible at this.
Skip it then. Go to the next one.
on the Capo's Hillis territory.
Yeah, Capo's hit list. That's Aaron. Remember Aaron we met?
Oh yeah.
Remember Aaron came over?
Yeah, you love Q Dog.
Yeah.
You love some Q Dog.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Territory, but I I have to nominate a group of people. Firstly, the officials and the morons that govern them. What's going on, guys? Some of these calls are so bad, they're unbelievable. I've been watching soccer and cricket for a long time, and I've always been able to use NFL officials as a benchmark, but I can't recall a worse group than this, and we're not even halfway through the season yet.
True that.
Perhaps they should ask Commissioner Belichick to have a word with them. They usually listen to them.
Oh, nice.
And secondly, fools who collated the NFL 100 greatest characters.
Collated, yeah. I mean, they assembled the list. We went through it earlier. Yep, good stuff. Yep.
Yep, I'm horrible.
No, you're good. You're good. You're doing great. Keep going, pal.
Much better than me.
Much better.
Oh, yeah. Get him, Vinny.
Will you stifle
Oh, there we go. All right, finish it up. Take us home.
Now I know that Joe Namath is a pretty big fish in NFL history, but can someone explain to me why anyone believes that is it Namath?
Namath, yep.
All
good,
right.
Yep.
Namath was a bigger character than Al Davis. These lists have given me a headache. Namath shouldn't even be above Snake. Screw it. I'm going to have a donut and a cup of coffee. Keep up the excellent work, fellas. Love you, Raider Nation.
And then read the tagline.
Read the tagline.
All right. His Lordship Paul Edgerton, Softfire, Mississippi. Paulie Award winner 2019, still a soccer keeper, proud man, one-time winner of the Raiders Fan Radio Sizzler.
All right. Good job. Good job, Vinny.
Thank you. I didn't totally screw it up.
No, you did great. Thank you for stepping in for your Uncle Swaggo over there.
Well, yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate the emails this week. Thank you to Stacey Ruff, and thank you to his lordship, Paul. Great stuff there. All right, so next up, we're going to get to the voicemails, and we always start off our voicemails with Aaron, the Q-Dog Raider. We call him the Capo. He's the leader of our made men and made women, and you know what? Sometimes Google Voice will get you. If you go over 3 minutes, Google Voice will get you, but there's only one person that Google Voice will not step to.
No, he won't mess with no Capo.
He won't mess with Capo. Oop, did I get it? What?
Greetings,
there he
John
is.
Murphy, Larry Marshall, and the Boss Sonny, Little Merc, Swag Jeff, our Sergeant Arms, Big Raider Trucker, Mojo Raider, Raider Ramon, Swag Jeff, Nation, it's your Capo in the Q.
You got a shout out twice.
I got double the.
First condolences go out to Raiders Hall of Famer Willie Brown, who passed into paradise at the tender age of 78. A native of Yazoo City, Mississippi, my one-time home and where I became the Q's. I give a big shout-out and respect to him, and I hope he's holding down Soul Patrol on high. In 1967, Old Man Willie, he was acquired from Denver, and he became a man, donning the silver and black, where he spent the rest of his career. We all recall, Super Bowl 11, him intercepting, Fran Tarkenton and taking it back, huffing and puffing, and we can all still feel, the sweat, come out of, his pores and him blowing us, them big cheeks as he rolled down the sideline for 75 yards in our first Super Bowl victory. Can't stand the Green Bay Packers, but they, made up for it from that Super Bowl II loss. Now, there's a couple of things I wanted to get into, and, Google Voice, if you step up, I swear to God, I'm going to smack you back down. But I got to get some things off my chest. Brown was a member of the AFL All-Time Team, and he was the first ballot Hall of Famer on July 28, 1984. A first ballot inductee, and was voted the number 50 player in the top 100 NFL all-time players list, and that's an accomplishment in and of itself. Moving on, look, it's nobody's fault but Derek Carr's that he lost a second end-zone touchback fumble. How do you do that? There's some cat sitting around, sipping a pina colada from a butt fumble who thinks that's, kind of ridiculous. However, it's a bad rule, and the league needs to look at that. They need to incentivize whenever players are close to the goal line and they want to stretch out, in order to make a 7-point or a 6-point touchdown, that they do so and retain the ball if it gets lost. Anyway, I'm shaking my head thinking about the rules because looking at that game over the past weekend, there was that Aaron Rodgers throw to what's his cat's name? Jake Kummerow on that 37-yard pass on the sideline where he beat somebody that got cut. And this cat stepped out at the 5-yard line, and they had a booth review. And don't you know they threw it to Gene Steratore, and that hater, as soon as I knew they threw it to him, I knew he was hit. And they somehow or another, everybody in America saw that cat stepped out of bounds, and they gave him a touchdown. Man, the league, they do themselves no favors whenever the Zebras, they blow a call, they review a call, and they still screw us. Anyway, Gary Conley, he's out of here. He didn't make my hit list, but you know what? He needs to go. Anyway, the writing had to be on the wall whenever we drafted Trayvon Mullen and also Isaiah Johnson. And if I'm not mistaken, we just signed this cat too, Keyshawn Nixon. He used to play football for Snoop Dogg as a youth. Yes, that's Snoop Dogg, D-O-G-G, and hopefully he'll do good things for us. Mullen will step into Conley's role opposite Darryl Worley, who will basically become our default number one cornerback. You know, Mullen has, the size. He's raw. He's a competitor. He was an underclassman at Clemson, and I think that he's going to do quite good things for us, man. And I'll talk more about our secondary, but for a second, I want to get back to talking about Willie Brown because this just wasn't a regular loss. I mean, Willie Brown, he was part of our front office for years. I'm thinking like 1995, and he's played some kind of role mentoring a lot of Raiders that we look up to and revere. So, for years, he called our second round selection, and just about every draft going back, he would come out there and he'd wish us all a happy Mother's Day and settle down. And this year we had Chuck Woodson, another number 24. They shared that number, come out and make that selection this year due to old man Willie's failing health. But I got a question and a challenge. What was the last pick, the last name that he had selected for our beloved Raiders? Think about that for a second. Chat room, type your names in.
Nice.
I was blessed to be in attendance at AT&T Stadium whenever he made that selection. And the answer was a second-round selection. All right, I've given you enough hints by now. It's P.J. Hall. He was number 57 overall in the 2018 draft back there in Jerry World. The hit list, guard Lester Cotton, tackle David Sharp, safety Eric Harris, and his ridiculous PIs that he keeps making. Google Voice, you're on my list now. And Eric Berry, is he available somewhere? This goes out to the made men. Rudy Root.
Good stuff from Aaron, the Q-Dog Raider.
Nice cap.
I had to flash up the picture there from when we heard Chuck Woodson step in and announce that pick for Willie Brown. Remember that, Vinny?
I do.
We were there. That was a pretty good day, wasn't it?
It was.
It was very cool, man. And so we appreciate that. Aaron always hits on point on so many different things that I feel like I don't even want to tag onto his call because I don't want to take away from anything that he had to say. Like Aaron, incredibly just well stated, my friend, and
absolutely,
and just love the love that you gave to Willie, and can't wait until next week, man.
Yeah,
when we see you in
absolutely, and Google Voice isn't going anywhere near him.
No, he can go 4 minutes on this show all day long, and Google Voice will just still be like over there on the sideline.
Well,
somewhere. He wants no piece of Aaron. Last time he stepped to Aaron, it didn't go well for Google Voice.
Did not go well. It did not go well. Now for our grade 8.
So we got a Sizzler at hand. So Jeff will award the Sizzler Award to the best phone call or emailer of the night, and we're going to start off with our buddy Running Bear in Tulare, California.
This is Running Bear, proud made man from Tulare, California. Hey, Murph, Uncle Mosh, and Swag Jeff, and DeCapo, and all the rest of the made men and women out there, and everybody else in chat. I'm going to make this very clear, very straightforward. Try not to make any things one way or the other. But we're 3-2, and if we want to get in the playoffs, we have to win the next 2 games to almost guarantee us in there. That puts us at 5-2. They're both East AFC teams, and that'll put us in a position that we can, even if we lose the Chiefs, we'll still have a good, solid option to get into the playoffs. If we go 1-1 in the next 2 games, we still can make the playoffs, but it's going to be much harder. And if we go into, we're not going to make the playoffs, guys. We'll be 8-8, 9-7 at most. And we just have to, understand this is a young team and it's building. Now, the fan of me, I think we're going to be 12-4. But if I'm honest, we have to win these
I hope you're right.
If we're going to do anything and to get a chance in the playoffs. I want to say that Carr's looking good. Our wide receivers are slowly getting better. Tight ends are awesome. Running backs are great. Offensive line's awesome. Crosby's doing well. On the defensive line, our defense is gelling together. But one thing that's not being talked about enough is our fullback and our tight ends they're blocking is the reason why we are where we're at right now. I know everyone wants to talk about the offensive line, but if our tight ends and running backs weren't blocking as well, we wouldn't be doing as well. Anyway, you guys have a good day, and I hope we see a win this coming against the Packers, and we definitely need to beat the Texans. All right, go Raiders.
We're going to get a live call there. Sorry about that. That's running over Running Bear a little bit there. Apologize for that. It wasn't Mosh. Mosh said he might call in. That wasn't Mosh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I didn't recognize the number, so I didn't pick up on it there. But anyways, Running Bear, appreciate the call, my friend. Keep him coming. And, man, I hope he's right with that fandom pick.
Yeah, seriously.
Man, if you see 12-4, okay.
I'm all about that.
All about that. All right, next up, we're going to hear from our buddy Houston Raiders Steve.
Hey, Murph and Mosh, Swag Jeff. Hey, this is Houston Raiders Steve, the historian. I've got a great story for you. First, I want to say we ought to give Max Crosby the nickname of Captain Chaos. First game I ever saw on TV was the December 31st, 1967 NFL championship game between the Packers and, of course, the Cowboys, Dallas. Ray Scott called the game. I've heard Ray Scott tell that it was 13 below zero. And he was down on the field. He wasn't up in the press box calling the game and everything. And as the game went on, his lips started to freeze. All these people were calling up saying, get that guy off the air. He's drunk. He's unintelligible. It got worse and worse as the game went on. We all remember that Bart Starr, they won 21-17. Jerry Kramer threw the famous block that got Bart Starr in the end zone, and the rest they say is history. The second game I ever saw was the Raiders and Jets Heidi game. So I saw two great games from my first game. And the first game I ever attended was the Jets and the Oilers. Oilers won with Elvin Bethea and Dab Pastorini 72 at the Astrodome. It was like Joe Namath was like a rock star. There were Jets fans all over the place. It's the only game that the Oilers won that year. I told my parents, I said, this is the only game I hope they win. And it came true. And I thought, man, I jinxed them. Great show, Murph and Mosh. God bless. And go Raiders. They're back, baby. And we're not going to be saying go Pack go or wearing any cheeseheads hats. God bless. Bye.
No, we were saying went Pack went because they ran away with that one. But anyways, appreciate the phone call as always. I love Houston Raiders Steve. Vinny, we call him Dead Sea Scroll Steve or the Historian because he's always got the best takes and the best history on the Raiders and the NFL in general. So yeah, pretty good stuff there. All right, next up, man, this is a great call. We don't play favorites, and I'm not trying to nudge people to the head of the Sizzler, but this was a pretty good call. RBK Raider.
Murph, Uncle Mosh, Q-Dog, Swag Jeezy, Little Plastic Buff Pimpin'.
Swag Jeezy?
How y'all doing?
Oh, you missed that.
RBK Raider, jumping in once
after
again.
Swag Jeezy, listen to what he says.
How y'all doing? Jeezy, Little Plastic Buff Pimpin'. How y'all doing? This is RBK
pimpin'.
Raider, jumping in once again.
Look at that.
Officially a made man. Want to apologize. I didn't actually hear my music played. Anyways, man, this game, I'll be honest with you, just like the Pillaging podcast, none of us had us winning this game, but staying competitive was key. And seeing those 3 turnovers in the red zone, 2 on the 1-yard line, it hurts, but you know what? We're trending in the right direction. A lot of people forget that we don't have our number 1 wide receiver, Tyrell Williams, who is actually our number 2 wide receiver coming into the season, and losing the players we did on defense. But hey, trash player of the game, man, has got to go out to the defense. Gary and Conley, where were you? You look like you're a high school player playing in college, bro. And I just heard this morning that he got traded to Jacksonville for a 3rd-round pick. Bye, Felicia. You haven't done nothing for a 1st-round pick. You didn't do anything for us. You had a decent season, but injuries and concussions and this and that. I don't know. I'm a Raiders fan, not a Players fan.
Perfect.
Derek Carr did everything he could. I know that fumble sucks, just like it did at the end of the game in Dallas, but that didn't lose us the game, boys. Our defense gave up 6 touchdowns to Aaron Rodgers, 5 in the air and 1 rushing.
Yep.
They were nowhere to be found. Darren Waller did his job. Josh Jacobs did his job. Derek Carr did his job. These guys were playing their hearts out, and the defense was nowhere to be found. But anyways, man, I know you guys are going to talk a lot about it. Want to hear your take on Gary and Conley and about this game in general, because I have mixed emotions. I think we played good. We're trending in the right direction and probably going to get hacked by Google Voice here soon. So Hey, man, this is a 4-time caller, long-time listener, official made man, RBK Raider. Ow.
Yeah, you are.
Good job, RBK Raider. So he asked for our opinion on Conley. So I'm going to give you some facts.
There you go.
I'm going to give you guys some numbers.
All right.
I'm going to give you some truth.
We're all about some numbers.
We're all about it. And so here's some truth about Gary and Conley. Former Raider, and this tweet is by HB Nadonley on Twitter. So credit to him for putting the numbers together. Former Raiders corner Gary and Conley been targeted 29 times this season. So they threw at him 29 times, Vinny. 21 of those were completed for 389 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Jeez.
And 1 interception. That is a passer rating of 139.7.
Oh, no.
And the Raiders got a 3rd-round pick for him. So, yeah.
Wow.
See ya, Gary.
Yikes. Yeah, see ya. Bye.
See ya, bye. All right, so next up, we're going to hear from, this is a cool one, Vin. You'll like this one. We have a buddy of ours that's, he's kind of like from the old country. He's an Italian guy, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
And he's got crystal clear quality.
What is that again?
Crystal clear quality.
How many syllables are in that, Jeff?
Too many. Too many for me to count.
All right, let's hear from our buddy Raider-born Rico.
Hey guys, Raider-born Rico here. Well, first of all, I was saying that we're going to beat the Packers. Well, it didn't go like that. But anyway, we don't need. I was saying that we don't need a superstar because it's not one person that make the difference. And I still think the same. But we need somebody in the backfield. We don't have cornerbacks; they're outmatched every time. We need somebody over there that can control the zone and. Linebacker position, of course, we need somebody because Morrow and Whitehead, they can do their job, but they take away from us the spirit of the defense, who is Von Burfict, who I think is a great player, and they take it away from us. Apart that, I think the offensive line is good, is outstanding. We got Sharp instead of Brown. That cost us penalty and touchdown. I mean, this game can go in a completely different way if it wasn't for that. But again, we got Brown not healthier, probably mentally because of the domestic violence. We got to be real, not because of the injury and calf injury, I think. I don't think it was for that. And but apart this, the offensive line is great. Derek Carr was again unsacked against a great offense. They couldn't touch him. I was more worried about the Zadarius Smith, the Smith brother, than Aaron Rodgers. And we keep them over there without doing their thing. So shout out to the offensive line because it's great. I can't remember the last time we had a running back running like this. I mean, come on, let's be real. And tight end corps. What to say about this tight end corps? They like receivers, all of them. All the three, they deserve the same respect. And with a healthier team, we can show that also with the wide receiver, we can do our job and we can score a lot of points. Don't get misunderstood. Raider Nation, this is a great team. We didn't have a team like that in ages. I believe a lot in this team. And we will show to everyone that we can do it. We're going to go to Houston. We're going to be Houston. And if we don't beat Houston, well, we're going to go 12-4 and go to the playoffs. So
Another
with all that said,
call.
I love you guys with all my heart, and I'm out.
Hey, we love you too, Rico. Appreciate the call as always, my friend. And hey, Vinny, when someone calls and leaves a message and it gets played on the air 3 times here on Raiders Fan Radio, what does that mean?
Is that a sizzler?
It's close. It means you become a made man.
You become a made man.
So you know our shirts that say "Get Made" on there.
Yeah. Hey. So you want to hear the full list
of made men? Well, let's give him his props first, Jeff. I know you're killing it.
Oh my gosh,
you're dying to get to that list.
I've teased this twice.
You've teased it twice. You're dying to get to the list, but we gotta make the ceremony formal here. So you call the show, you get your message played 3 times on the air, and you become what we refer to as a made man or a made woman. And Rico, that is your 3rd voicemail message amongst many emails, and we are proud to welcome you in to the family or the familia.
Yes.
You are now a made man.
Yeah, you are.
You are a made man. You showed you are part of the family by participation. By chance, a man like yourself should make enemies, then they would become my enemies. Showing you are a friend of Raiders Fan Radio, you have leapt across the line. Friendship is everything. Friendship is more than talent. It is more than the government. It's almost equal to family. Be loyal. Made man, Raider fan. Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service for me. But until that day, accept this as a gift. And don't ever forget, words can hurt more, but silence can break hearts.
Congratulations,
That's right, Rico. Hey, you joined a great list.
Great list.
So let's shout it out. Let's shout it out. So we got Jimmy Z-Back, Hardcore Raider, Johnny from San Diego, Splatterhead McCann, Ron the Mater Raider, Alaska Raider, Dakota Raider, Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Red and Yakima, Jim from the East Coast, Yayo from Jersey, Big Raider Trucker, Wyoming Raider, Diego from Georgia, Running Bear, Mojo Raider, Junior in San Diego, Beto from, you know the city.
You know the
Who
city.
is that? Yeah,
9 Volt.
Yeah. 9 Volt, James in Arkansas, Monster Mash Ken, Raider Rue, Eve Dog, Houston, Houstorian Raider Steve, Jesse in Kentucky, B Dog from a pasture, Max in San Diego, Rev Raider, Raider One, Eye Patch, Alex in Tucson, Ruben in Vegas, Dave in the 330, Kevin the Raider Nerd, Paul from Shropshire, Mississippi, 24 Karat Kev, One Nation Jeff, Chucktown Raider, Haley and Scott, and Lino, the Full Metal Mexican, Central Valley Raider, RBK Raider, Coach Davis, Raider Ramon, and Rico.
What a list.
Yeah, man.
Nice job.
Yeah,
That's
man.
awesome.
Good job.
Swaggo.
Congratulations.
Good job. Good stuff there. All right. So speaking of the made man, we're getting short on time, so we gotta start hitting the buttons quick here. Man, good buddy of ours, proud made man. When he goes to work, Vinny, this man defends our freedom.
Yeah, he does.
Absolutely. A proud member of the
My boy.
of the greatest Navy in the world, Vinny. And we're gonna hear from our buddy Mojo.
Nice.
What's up, Murph, Mosh, Swaggy J, made men and women?
Quality.
It's Mojo, San Diego.
Yeah.
Quality.
Hey, I'm going to look to the bright side this week, man. We all know how it went yesterday. It is what it is. Some great teams we lost to. Anyway, Jacobs is still running like a man amongst boys. I think he's making a strong case for Rookie of the Year. So all I got to say is thanks, Chicago. I saw some scuttlebutt that we might be putting together a blockbuster trade, including, like multiple picks, multiple players, and whatever. If it happens, great. If it don't, I'm good with it too. I'll tell you one thing, though. I'm totally content with the Conley trade. You either produce or you go somewhere else, man. And he got abused yesterday. I think it's a youth movement, and I think we drafted Mullen for a reason. So there's 5 players left that we drafted with the old regime, right? You got DC, you got Gabe, you got Joseph, Markel Lee, and Washington, right? Well, as it stands now, coming up in this next draft, we got 5 picks in the first 90. So over to Murph, since he's our numbers guy. Is that a coincidence?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so I'll be cooking San Diego street tacos in the D-lot at the official Made Man tailgate on November 3rd.
Love it.
Yeah. I also heard that there's going to be a donut eating contest between our very own Uncle Mosh and a couple CHP officers. So I can't wait to see everybody. Look for the Mojo flag that my boy Just Win Johnny did up for me. Or just look for me and Trucker and Q doing beer bongs in the parking lot.
Nice.
Till next time, Raider Nation, just win, baby.
Oh, man.
Mojo out.
So good, Mojo, man. Keep those coming. And Mojo's got some quality going there with his microphones, and I think.
Well, yeah.
I hear a budding podcaster. Now I'm not trying to put him on the spot, but Mojo, you always got a home, man. If you ever wanted to start that business of getting in the podcast game, because man, you got the voice, and you got the content for it, my friend, and that was good stuff there. And can't wait to see you next week at the tailgate in the D lot there in the Oakland Coliseum. All right, next up we're gonna hear. Now you got me stumbling on my words over here.
Right?
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, somebody check on Jeff. I think he got stung by a bee because his tongue swole up.
I know, right?
Sorry, I'm just picking at you. Rev Raider.
What's going on, Murph? Uncle Mosh, Swag Jeff Nation. It's Rev Raider calling from Jersey. Just wanted to start off by giving a big my condolences to the Raider Nation, Willie Brown and his family, to switch up something that 50 Cent said. They say the good die young. I guess these grimy Raiders live a long time, man. Hall of Famer, Black College Hall of Famer. He's one of the greats, man. One of the originators of the bump and run. Sad to see him go, man. He lived a great life. He contributed so much to the Raiders. Much respect due to him. That's all I have for that, Also wanted to talk about this Garyon Connolly trade. A couple of days ago, right before I heard the trade, I was actually thinking about Capo. I was like, I wonder if Capo's going to put this dude on his hit list, man, because we might have to nickname this guy, Connolly Bank and Trust, because he's money for the opponents, but then turn around and see him get traded, Sad to see him go because I still think he has a lot of potential, but it is what it is, It was a bad game last week, but I saw a lot of positive things. We got a great offense up and coming. We got a lot of weapons. Our tight ends, man, they're about something, and definitely, also our wide receivers, they showed some things also. We just got to get that defense on board. We got to get them doing what they're supposed to do. Hopefully we'll have a good one this week. And that's all I've got. I'll talk to you guys. Always love the show. Peace.
Thank you, Rev Raider. Appreciate the phone call as always. Great job, man. He's one of the best. All right, next up we got our buddy Ruben in Vegas.
Hey guys, Ruben in Vegas calling in. Was going to call in today talk about the game. We got blown away against the Packers, but hearing the news at work today, the passing of Raider great old man Willie Brown. Pretty crazy, man. I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of great Raiders, man. From Mr. Otto, Jim Plunkett, Charles Woodson, Rod Martin, Cliff Branch, rest in peace, Otis McKinney, among others. And it's pretty crazy, how the move coming up. I actually went to the practice facility today in Henderson because I work for a supply company, so we're supplying the stadium and the practice and whatnot. But it's crazy how things are coming along, man. It's sad to see all these, former Raider greats, passing away, and won't be able to see, what Mark Davis worked so hard for the Raiders organization to get a stadium, As a Vegas resident, my heart, I prefer Oakland, but it's his business. We need a stadium, things didn't work out in Oakland, it'll be forever Oakland, I love Oakland. That's home, and it's just sad day today, like I said, R.I.P. Willie, never got a chance to meet him, but, it's just heartbreaking that all these Raider legends, are just passing away on us and won't be able to see our new home, what, the organization's worked for to get, something we've always wanted, needed, and we finally have. But anyways, guys, hope you guys have a good one. Let's get that win, this Sunday at Houston. We got rid of Connolly, which is a good thing. He's always getting burned in my eyes, but we play him this weekend, so hopefully they don't spill the beans too much. But anyways, guys, win, lose, or tie, Raiders till I die. R.I.P.
Amen, brother.
Willie Brown.
Absolutely. Good stuff there from Ruben. And yeah, John Gruden's not too worried about Garyon Connolly. Otherwise, he wouldn't have traded him to their next opponent. And wouldn't that just be Dude, that would be so gangster if freaking they trade him and he plays and Derek Carr like throws a couple touches on him or something.
Oh yeah.
Ty Williams was back at practice today, so hopefully he'll be back because
Good.
we're going to need him.
Yeah, he needs to burn him.
Absolutely, that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, one more to get to. Hey, so this is our last call, and so for those of you that don't know or whatever, we're only playing 8 calls every show, and we need you to get them in by Tuesday. So I know we got some calls today, and so we produce the show, we get everything together, and so if you wait till Wednesday to call, odds are your call is not going to make it on.
Yes.
So you get it to us by Tuesday, please, and then we'll put you in the running for the final 8. So anyway, so I don't do a lot of repeats, but in the memory of Willie Brown, I thought this was very appropriate. So we're going to go back to Houston and hear from Steve.
Yes.
Hey, Murph Mosh, Swag Jeff, made men, made women, and the Raider family. It's a very sad day for Raider Nation. Willie Brown passed away yesterday, as we all know. One of the stories that I heard was that whenever there was a funeral for somebody that was in the Raiders organization, Willie Brown was Al Davis would give him an envelope with some money or something, but Willie would attend the funerals of, Al did too, but Willie did also on behalf of the Raiders organization and everything. So he was one of our best Raiders ambassadors we've ever had, man with class, dignity, and so he attended quite a few funerals if Al needed him to do that as a Raiders ambassador. So it's a very sad day that he passed. As you know, he was out of Grambling. He wasn't even drafted in the NFL. We acquired him. He was cut by the Oilers in training camp, and Denver picked him up. He played 4 years, and Al got him through a trade, one of the best trades Al Davis ever did. So number 24, what a great number, huh? Raiders history. We miss you and we love you, Will Brown. Rest in peace, and we'll see you on the other side in heaven. Amen. And we dedicate this season to you. It's been a tough year for Raider Nation. A lot of our Raider greats have passed. And, Willie, we're thinking about you. God bless. Bye.
Absolutely. Great sentiment there from Steve, man.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
Top notch, man. Way to close us out with not that anybody was classless, but that was a very classy call there at the end.
Absolutely.
Great job there, Steve. So, all right, so we always award a Sizzler Award, the best email or voicemail. Jeff, what you got?
Yeah, absolutely. So Uncle Mosh is typically in charge of this. So we're gonna try our best here.
All right.
Over here with Swaggy J.
All right, what you got?
So we started with a couple of emails. We started with Paul with the condolences to Willie Brown and his take on the positives of the game against Green Bay. Then we went to Stacy Ruff, which he was looking good with an RFR shirt and had a great take on the game in Green Bay. Yeah, and then we started with the Capo, who scared Google Voice off and was telling him where he can stick it, and also a Willie Brown shout out. Running Bear with giving props to the offense. Houston Raider Steve with a Swaggy Jeff props.
Yeah,
and talking about his first game in Oakland, first game in Houston. Then RBK Raider with a Swag Jeezy shout out and calling out Gary and Conley, which he is now gone.
See ya.
Rico, who is a made man, Suave Rico, and talking about a 12-4 record.
That'd be nice.
Ooh, I would like that. And Rev Raider with a shout out to Willie, who hates to see him go, but loves to watch him leave.
There you go. Nice.
Ruben in Vegas with another shout out to Willie, and the Oakland Vegas. It's just business. It's just business. That's all it is. And another call from Houston Steve, with the Swaggy J props ×2 and more Willie props. But this week, the Sizzler is going to go to our boy Mojo in San Diego with a shout out to Josh Jacobs and talking about a beer bong with Q Dog Raider. Sizzler goes to Mojo Raider.
Sizzler.
Nicely done. Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Mojo, hey, that was legit, man. Great call, or great message anyways. Great recording, and keep those coming, man. I'm telling you, I think there's a podcast game in his future. Absolutely.
Dude, yeah, absolutely, Mojo. Yeah, with great quality on the call. Start your own show, man. We love you, man. Mojo Raider, take a Sizzler, and you know what? Raider fans, we're a rogue gallery.
Sir.
We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we out here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
So Vinny, so there was Metallica there and the Joker. Those are like two of your 4 favorite things?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm even wearing a Metallica shirt right now.
Yeah, you are. Absolutely.
Yeah, you are.
So hey, so we appreciate all of the wonderful callers tonight. We appreciate all of the great voicemails.
Thanks for checking out our podcast.
Whoops.
Tune in each two.
That's not us.
What in the world was that?
I don't know. That was wow.
What?
That was Sonny's outro for his podcast. I don't know how that ended up. Hit our outro music.
Why don't I hit our outro?
Yeah, there we go. Thank you very much. All right, so appreciate all the
for Sonny and Murph,
if you want
and
him,
Swaggy J and Lil Vinny. We thank you for tuning into Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. We've got everyone in the chat. We got Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Ron the Mater Raider, Mojo, a couple-time Sizzler winner now, and the Big Easy Pirate 1975 Dakota Raider. We've got the whole crew, Raider Ramon. We've got everybody. Hey, thanks for joining us, and you know what, Murph? Why don't you take us home?
All right, appreciate that, Swaggo. Appreciate everybody joining us tonight in the chat room. Thank you for your calls, your voicemails. Appreciate you sitting with us as we tribute the great, the one and only Willie Brown, man.
The 2-4, the OG.
Absolutely, OG 2-4. And we miss Uncle Mosh, but we'll be back next week. We're going to do a Halloween episode.
Yeah, we are.
For those of you that caught our Halloween episode last year, we're going to dress up. We're going to be silly. We're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you, Vanuch.
Of course.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Vinny. Let's give it up for Vin, man.
Yes.
Sitting in there for Uncle Mosh there in the southern annex of the fan cave desk, or the western annex. I always forget which one it is, but appreciate you, man. Who's your favorite Raider?
Well, it's not a Raider player.
Okay.
Coach. Is that okay?
Yeah, do it.
Madden. John.
Oh, gosh.
Nice.
I love you, son.
I love that. I love that.
Thanks for checking us out.
Hey,
Raiders
you know
Fan
who
Radio.
my favorite Raider is?
We'll see you next week. Go quick.
My buddy Murph. He's not just consistent, he's a man of his word.
Well, that was awful sweet of you.